think Dan's ready to go. I can see it. Bring it up a little bit higher. There we go. There we go. I'd rather what? Oh, I like it. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness.
I love it.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the NorCal Sports Network, where the Giants get crushed 10-1. 10-1, and they lose their fourth straight. And this ship looks like it might be sinking. But the rest of the league is stinking too. So the Giants are hanging in there.
Well, except for the Dodgers. Except for the Dodgers.
Yep. That's the Phillies lose, the Diamondbacks lose, the Marlins lose. The Giants are still.
Did the Padres win?
The Padres are coming, guys.
Yep.
Padres won big, 16-3. Their run differential is second. Let me look. Their run differential is way up there. It's better than the Giants. And they are coming. Cream always rises to the top, fellas. I remember that in sales. I remember in a contest once, they did put that out there. I ended up winning the contest when I was in my early 20s, and that was the line I'll always remember. Cream rises to the top. I caught him at the tail end because I didn't quit. I kept coming. I wanted that number one prize. And I got to tell you, it is hard to watch a team that has nobody that can hit. You'd think Wilmer Flores was hurt or something.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy went 7 for 15 in Cincinnati, 4 homers, 7 RBIs, and he rides the pine the next 2 games because Kapler and Farhan think we can't put this guy in. He's hot, but we're facing a righty. That doesn't compute.
Exactly.
Does not compute with the system.
Yeah, it's dumb. I don't get it. 1 run. I mean, look at this. Now we have what we said 3 games with a total of 6. Now we got 4 games with a total run scored of 7. I mean, my God. And I don't know. That's silent. I don't know what happened to Webb today. Holy crap. Boy.
Did they say Wilmer has a back problem? Is that why he's out?
Is that what they're saying? I haven't heard
anything. I don't know. That I know he's had a back problem in the past.
Well, there you go. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, the guy's older, so and they were playing him a lot. So that's what happened. That's what happens when you keep continually playing players who are platooners.
I haven't heard anything about that, but let me
that Verlander stuff, whatever. Whatever.
Here's what I sense.
He's not going to help. He's not going to help right now.
Here's what I sense the Giants happening. I smell a couple things.
That's good, Mario.
His back's sore from carrying JD and Jock. Okay. Here's what I smell coming. I smell a giant overreach where they overpay for somebody
to make it look like they're doing something.
Right. And it does need a jolt. You do need a jolt right now because you can't just sink. But I see an overpay coming, or I see, this is my prediction. Let me look at Sacramento's schedule again. They are in Sac right now, correct? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. They go to Albuquerque on Tuesday. They play in Albuquerque on Tuesday. Guess who's not on that plane trip Monday night?
Who?
Who's not heading to Albuquerque? Luciano. He's going to be called up for Tuesday. I think they brought. That's my guess.
Good.
I think they brought him up, get him a week in Sacramento, 4 or 5 games or whatever it is, get him in the West Coast time zone, get him hitting, get him in AAA, and I think he could be part of a package. I hate to say it. I think they bring him up on Tuesday. I may be completely wrong, but wouldn't surprise me if they bring him up and they play him and they say he's in the majors, he's ready to be traded.
Could be.
Hopefully, if he's in a deal, it's for somebody major, like big time.
Right.
And
Verlander, I don't think it's big time. That's not big time.
Well, it's not bad because he's signed for next year.
And he has to waive his no trade clause.
Yeah. I don't know if Luciano's getting traded or not, but I still think he might come up this week. David VR is just taking up a roster spot, period.
Yeah, yep. He is, 100%.
So is right now Casey Schmidt.
So and Isan Diaz.
So is Brett Wisely.
Keep going.
This is a
keep going. There's a bunch of other guys that don't deserve to be on the roster.
But it's getting to the point where they got to get some athletes. Okay, I'll tell you what. Luciano might not be ready. More than likely, he's probably not ready, but he is better than VR. His upside is 7 gazillion times higher than VR and Wisely. So if you're going to have him sitting there at AAA, is might as well bring him up. And here's the other thing I thought of: if they are going to trade him, if they were to bring him up, they wouldn't be concerned about his service time because they wouldn't be the ones dealing with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it may not happen. I think Harrison would be up soon, but he's hurt. He hasn't even pitched, Mitchell and Ness. He's got to get that hammy right.
And he's not even throwing right now, right?
I have no idea. I haven't heard. That's the poor thing about, the Giants beat writers is like, give us some news. What's happening? The only news we get in the minors is from Jeff Young.
Yeah.
We should be getting news. Somebody should be reporting. Is Harrison?
Yes, real quick. Logan said, and I looked at it earlier, Wisenhunt had a good outing today. 4 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, only 3 hits.
Oh, Isan Diaz just hit a 2-run homer tonight.
He could do it in AAA. Yeah, he just can't do it up here.
Well, when you get 8 at bats, it's kind of hard to get into any kind of a groove.
Good point.
I mean,
today was a little bit of a sneak preview of, and even the most optimistic Giants fans like Robert and many others out there got to see the Giants lineup go against a quality pitcher. Like, when was the last time the Giants beat an ace? Like, they feast on 3, 4, 5 starters. But
they don't even do that sometimes when if it's the first time they see him, they don't hit him.
Yeah. If they by some chance do make the playoffs, they're not going to be facing bad pitching. They're going to be facing
exactly. And look what happened today. Here's an example. Even though Webb had he could have 1 1/3, but even if you had Verlander out there, the lineup produced 1 run on 5 hits.
Yeah, and JD Davis looks overmatched a lot.
Oh, You're right, Mario.
He's behind on fastballs. He's just chasing pitches.
It was so funny. It was Susan Slusser was on the FP the other day talking about, he said he adjusted his stance or something, and he's hitting more ground balls than fly balls. And I'm like, no. What about the strikeouts? That's the issue with JD Davis. That's what I'm just saying. That's why the media sometimes that covers this team is just, my God, come on. Let's get a dose of reality here.
All right, let's I want to do something with you guys here. Pull up the box score here, guys, and look at this lineup and tell me what strikes fear into you anywhere in this lineup.
There's a reason no Giants hitters made the All-Star team.
Exactly.
Exactly. Look at that lineup. Peterson hitting or Lamont Wade, 276.
Yeah, the averages are horrible.
Peterson, 240. J.D. Davis, 266, sinking like the Titanic.
Yeah, he was at what, 290 something around just not that long ago? Yeah.
Yep.
David VR, well, let's just call it what it 15%. Mike Conforto, 24%. Yaz, 23%. Matos, 25.7%. Sable, 253. Wisely, 18.2. Casey Schmidt, 215, but he is 5 for his last 53. 5 for 53. You guys know what that amounts to?
Less than 100.
94. 9.
That's a bingo.
9.4%.
That's what that is. That's just. And Mark, you covered it up. This lineup is gross. Right now, this lineup is gross.
Well, when you take out your middle of the infield, I mean, Crawford hasn't hit very well this year, but he's still
steady. You could say
steady
he's
as
the
a
steady
shortstop,
guy, yeah.
and he does come through at times, but Estrada was the key.
Yeah.
And he's I just wish the Giants I wish they would do this. I wish they would either go all in and try and win or just sell. Don't play the footsie game on the fence and say, we're close. No, you're not that close. You need a couple of starting pitchers. You need a middle infielder, and you need a power-hitting outfielder.
It's too much. It's too much.
I mean, we looked at the home runs the other day. They have they're the team with their highest individual home run hitter has the lowest number of any team in baseball, and that includes the A's.
Yep.
And the Royals, and the Washington Nationals, and the Colorado Rockies, teams that just absolutely aren't even major league teams. Oakland and Kansas City are not even major league teams.
Right.
They're not.
But they have a player that has hit more than the most in our team, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the Giants, one of the reasons is the lineup changes every day, so there's nobody consistently behind
exactly
the power hitter. So
right.
It's like it just, there's somebody different behind Conforto all the time.
Yep. Did I miss the epic rant? No, not yet.
No.
Not quite. It was in pictures today.
It was
the rant was in pictures.
The rant was in pictures, yes.
I'll do it over for you. It was the opening.
There. Oh, man.
And I lost my other one.
Yeah, you ripped it up.
Oh, I ripped it up. Oh, I don't think I quite ripped it. Who disagrees with this?
LA wins the division by 10 games.
They're up by 4. And I don't think the Giants, when they face them head-to-head with this team, is going to beat them.
No.
They're smoking a good Texas team.
I know.
Smoking them.
Oh, wow. You know what? I totally forgot. Hey, we had one super chat a while back here from Brian Trujillo. $2. Thanks, Brian. Are we losing on purpose so we don't give up the farm?
No.
I don't think that's happening.
No.
And
they're just losing because they're an average team.
$4.99. Thanks again there, Glass. Paging Ned Coletti to the white courtesy phone.
It's more like this. Paging Ned Coletti to the white courtesy phone. Paging Ned Coletti to the white courtesy phone. It is an emergency. Emergency. San Francisco Giants are sinking poorly. They need you, Ned Coletti. Calling Ned Coletti to the white courtesy phone, please pick up. At the airport. Yeah, White courtesy. Yeah,
you know
this
what
is.
You know what's going to happen, guys, is they're going to win. They're going to win a few games. They're going to win like 3 out of 4, and then everybody's going to be back to, oh, we need to trade for this. We're right there. We're right there. It's such a roller coaster ride. But you know, we're enough games in now to see what this team is. I mean, if you don't
are you
see
100 games in as of today? What's their record?
54 and 45. That's what it shows up.
Oh, 99. Okay.
And I know now why they were winning. Remember the other day we brought up, how is this team?
Yeah, we said that. Yeah, how are they getting through this? Yeah,
I kind of figured it out. Their bullpen ERA since May 1st is 2.88, and the next best is the Yankees at like 3.36. Yeah, you saw that, Dan?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Their bullpen is so lights out that when they do have a close game, their bullpen can shut it down and they'll squeak out a run somehow.
Yeah.
But it's very, very misleading. Like, this team is kind of
you're right. It is the bullpen that has kept them in it, and a couple of good starters in Webb and Cobb.
Right.
Otherwise, and you know, tonight, hey, look, it happens. Webb got into a funk, and I'll put this on Kapler again too. Let me tell you why. Okay, Webb throws 10 pitches the first inning. The second inning, the top of the second. Let me see if I can pull this up.
He had like 40 pitches in the second inning alone, I think.
40 like 45 or more. Okay, so here he is in the second inning. Menace is singled on a 3-2 pitch. Just stuck his bat out there and, you know, kind of just like flopped it out there, and it dropped into right. Ruiz fouled off like a dozen pitches.
That was a hell of an at bat. Yep.
Yeah, he just kept fouling pitches off, and they weren't even trying to pull the ball. They were just trying to go with it and foul off his changeup and his sinker and just foul it off, and then they made him work. Then it's first and second, and then Dominic Smith singles on a ground ball to the shortstop, but the shortstop, Schmidt, was playing over near second. There's a run scored. Now, here's the bat that really ticked me off. Dickerson comes up. I don't know if you guys see. I can circle this. Oops.
Whoa.
I changed it. Oh, there's the pitches. Change up everything. Okay. Foul ball. Okay. See all the foul balls when Ruiz. Okay. Let me go back to whatever.
No, you were there. I was going to say, just scroll down. It was showing it.
Oh, was it? All right. So Dickerson is up, and it's 1-0. It's okay. Remind you guys, see the inning?
Yeah, bottom of the second.
Bottom of the second. That's called early in the ball game. Your pitcher is laboring. He's got nobody out. He's now facing 1, 2, 3, his fourth batter, and he's already thrown like 25 pitches. Nobody out. 1-0.
Yep.
What are you doing, Los, with the infield? 1-0, bottom of the second. Are you playing?
I'm playing back to try to prevent a big inning and hopefully get a ground ball
double play depth, right?
There you go. Exactly. Kapler never does this. I watched a lot of baseball games today. A lot. Had the Major League Baseball. They had the big inning up today, and they had 4 games in a box, and I was watching 4 games at once. Texas got down 2-0 at one point in the first or second inning to the Dodgers. They played the infield back. They got a ground out. Gave up a run. Texas knows they can come back, I guess. But 1-0. So what does he do? He leaves Webb out there, and he's going to just leave him on a, just hanging. He gets the perfect double play ground ball. But wisely, is not playing deep. He's playing just on the dirt, just in front of the infield portion of the grass. The ball scoots by him. Had he been at normal depth, couple steps over, boom, flip to Schmidt. Schmidt's cannon, double play, 2 outs, 2-0. Now it's a whole different attitude when you're sitting out there. But instead, you're sitting out there 2-0 with nobody out, runners on now first and third, and it's like, crap, now I gotta really battle and fight. And when a pitcher, it's not the pitch count that always gets the pitcher, it's the stress.
The stress of the inning, yeah.
And he had thrown so many pitches that even if he had gotten out of it and it was, let's say he got out of it at 3-4-0, he wasn't long for the game after that at all.
Yeah.
Because he was shot. He needed outs.
Completely.
Kepler should know better than that.
So why do you think they were playing? Why would they play in the infield end if they wanted to turn a double play?
Because they know
they don't want to turn the double play. They want to stop the run and keep it at 1-0.
Because they know they can't score a lot of runs. They knew they were not going to hit Gray very well, so they wanted to keep it a low-scoring game and then open it up to more.
But it's the second inning. I'm sorry. Give up one more run.
Exactly.
Because if you can't get 3 or 4 runs in the game,
what the hell are you doing, right?
Yeah. So
Robert,
the point of this is you play
Lois. It's no use.
You avoid a big inning.
Let me
look at the World Series Game 7.
Which one?
When Game 7, when Panic in 2014 turned the double play,
Yeah.
didn't they have a runner? What was the runners on in that inning? Was it just first, or was it first and third?
Wait. Yeah, because I think it
just
prevented a run from scoring, so I think it was first and third, right?
I don't think there was anybody at third.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I cannot remember.
But it was like the 6th or 7th inning. It was
no, it was the 4th.
It was the 4th?
Yeah, it was early in the game.
Well, that's right. What's his name came in early?
Affeldt
that came to kind of shut it down a little bit because it was getting out of control.
Yeah, what's his name? Hudson had nothing.
Tim Hudson. God, yeah. Tim Hudson was our Game 7 starter. Wow.
He had a good beginning of the year, but then towards the end, he
ran out of gas.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, let me see if I've got the.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna hit a couple of these super chats, Dan.
Okay.
Brian Trujillo, another $2. Giants losing on purpose so they don't give up farm.
We did that one, didn't we?
Yeah, he put it out again. I don't know why he did that, but I don't see that happening. They're not.
Farhan never sells.
I was just gonna say he's not giving up the.
Sells.
Yeah, even if they're doing well and they wanted to sell, they're not going to sell. And Mark Hope just donated $2. Thank you, Mark. Guys, point regarding LA. They're starting to hit big time. Yep. You know, Ned even said that on the live. He says they're getting ready to hit their stride. And you know what's amazing? They got players that play every day. It's a new concept in baseball, I guess, in LA. You know, you play your player, or you get players who can play every day and produce. Who knows what it takes to go through a 162.
And I have to address Robert a while back. He said the Giants' talent is going to turn this thing around. No, it's not. I mean, their talent is average. Like I said, they had 2 all-star pitchers. They had no all-star hitters. They have, I don't believe, anybody hitting 300. Their top home run hitter is at 16, I believe. They don't have a whole lot of talent. Let me tell you how average their talent is. This is going to break it down as good as I can possibly do it. The best teams in baseball, the Baltimores,
I just
Dodgers,
saw that, Mark.
The Braves, the best teams in baseball, 7 or 8 of them. There are 7 or 8 guys on the Giants roster that would not be on their roster. They wouldn't be on the team. That shows you where the Giants' talent is.
Hey, Los.
I can name them, but I think you know who they are. They would not be on a winning team's roster right now.
Let's go. Let's talk about just the lineup. In average, you know where the Giants rank in average in all the major leagues?
Out of 30 teams?
19th.
I was going to
Yeah.
say 20. I thought maybe like 23, but 19.
19 in
right.
average.
Lower,
Okay.
lower half.
That's 19th in average. In slugging, Giants are 21st. In OPS, Giants are 19th.
Stolen bases.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started there. Here, let's go. Stolen bases.
21.
Oh, it's gonna be a little worse than that.
27.
How about
27.
20 tied for 29th?
Where's the talent, guys?
And there's no
Thank you.
Where's
athleticism.
the talent?
Exactly.
Where is the talent? I want to know. Tell me. Put it in the chat. Tell me who's talented. Who's a borderline
That's
or
not
a
even
really good
average.
player?
As far as hitting, that's not even average. You're below average. That's the talent that you're talking about there, Robert.
Yeah. I've got a
Mark with another $2.
Talented, that's for sure.
Damn, Mark, appreciate it. San Francisco is in a money ball hole. How do they get out?
Sell. That's how they get out. Damn it, sell. I'm getting tired of talking.
There we
about
go, Los. Woo! Yes,
sell. I've been on the sell wagon for about a month now. I've been saying the Giants need to sell,
but they're not going to sell because
maybe possibly we could. No, dude, no. Sell some pieces
And
that
this-
we need to get some
Doesn't
salary
this
off the books.
sound just like last year, Los, with the way Farhan's talking? It sounds just like last year. You wouldn't trade Rodon, wouldn't trade Peterson to get some pieces back.
He doesn't learn.
No,
He does not learn.
nope.
I would love to see them sell, but they never will because they're first position tied for first wild card. So they're with 63 games to go. So they're not gonna sell. But
They don't have anything to sell.
well,
Really?
they actually
do.
They have Davis. JD Davis would be a good selling point. Cobb,
Jock
Peterson,
Yeah.
Conforto would be a good piece to sell.
Conforto would probably be your best out of all of
imagine
that. Everyone out, all the Webb. I mean,
here's the problem with next year. Because Farhan gave Mania an opt.
oh yeah, we're seeing
Out.
him again.
He's coming back. No one's going to pay him $12.5 million after this year.
We said this when they signed him that was Mania is not gonna. We said he was going to be trash. He was trash last year. He's trash this year. He just. I mean, he's a nice guy. I'm not dogging who he is as a person. I'm talking about his performance.
So if you're the Giants owners, wouldn't you go to Farhan and say, "Hey, look, man, I thought you were like really good with numbers and saving as much money as possible. Don't you think really that Wisenhunt or Harrison could do no worse than Mania and Disco?
Good point.
At minimum wage, they would do no worse.
Correct.
At 800,000 than what Mania and Disco are doing at 12, 13 million each. And you could throw in Alex Wood too. So Farhan, you're supposed to be really good with money and evaluating talent. Why didn't you just bring up the young guys and let them be about 500 or below 500 in average? But at least they're learning. At least they're learning on the major league level instead of these stopgap average journeymens and paying them 12 to 13.
And you know what, Los?
You're fired, dude. You're fired. Yeah. You're costing us money.
You know, it's another good point you say about that, Los. If you bring them in now, there's no stress. Don't put stress. Don't throw them in the middle of if they're trying to, I mean, yeah, they're in a pennant race, but
there's no expectations.
No expectations. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you can let them develop. I agree.
Yeah, I tend to disagree with you guys on that one though, because there is expectations. They're in a pennant race. I mean, maybe not for the division, but they're trying to get in the playoffs. They're not like a team on the outside looking in right now. They're in
the way they're constructed, though.
If the playoffs were,
on
I know, but the pressure
paper,
to stay in the playoff race. If you bring a guy up, and they're like right now, they're in the first position, tied with Arizona. If the playoffs were to end today, they'd probably be the 4 seed, which would be 3 home games hosting.
And that's what's so sad is on paper. Yeah, you're right. They're in contention, but with the naked eyes, our naked eyes that we use, This is not a contending. This is not a championship.
Oh, I
team.
see what I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
That's
the players aren't going
to
to go out there and go, oh, this isn't a contending team. No pressure on me. But this is a year that's kind of an odd year. The Cardinals, the Mets, and the Padres have sucked, and it's the only reason the Giants are in position.
That's the only reason. Exactly. Good point, Dan.
And it's what I said in the beginning of the year. I said the Giants, I had them ranked 8th or 9th. I had the top 6 in the playoffs as LA, Atlanta, Milwaukee, those 3 as the division. And then I had the wild cards. I had St. Louis as the division. I had LA, Atlanta, St. Louis. And then my wild cards were New York and the Phillies
and the Padres.
That's 6. And then 7, I had Arizona. And at 8, I had the Brewers.
You even had the Cubs up ahead of the Giants.
And I was right there, 9, 10 between the Cubs and Giants.
Right.
So, and believe me, with 61 games to go, that still could happen.
Exactly. Mark Hope, another $2.
I mean, I don't see the Cardinals aren't going to catch him, but the Padres and the Phillies and the Diamondbacks and say Milwaukee or Cincinnati could end up on top of them. I don't know if that'll happen. I mean, the odds are still in the Giants' favor that they finish ahead of the Padres, but I'll tell you what, the Padres are 6, I think, back of the Giants. If they get to within 3, the pressure, what's going to start happening is you got all these veterans, Bogarts, Tatis, Machado, who's their other guy? Soto. And then you got Snell and you got veterans that are going to all of a sudden start getting jacked up because they know it's push time.
They can smell it.
Yeah. And it happens all the time in sports. So the Giants at this point, they better make a type of move. Doesn't have to be a major move, but it has to be something that solidifies the starting lineup. Something like a Whit Merrifield, or they got to plug that leaking dam now that is up the middle, second and short.
And that's the problem. I even heard on the radio there's not very many middle infielders out there to be had. That's at the all-star level. So
you don't even need an all-star. You just need a reputable, reliable player that could, that's ready to play Major League Baseball. Okay. I mean, I'm all for Casey Schmidt. Okay. He's going to be a really good player. I believe he's going to be an all-star in about 3 to 4 years. I really believe that. I believe it's going to take him a couple of years at the major league level of struggling like Matt Williams, but I think he figures it out, and he's a Gold Glove type of third baseman, or wherever you put him. He's just excellent defender. His game will come around, but he's pressing. He's
not ready for this. I think he needs some more time in AAA, and maybe he could get something figured out.
So
I just don't think he's major league ready quite yet.
Not at the plate right now, but he needs a couple weeks at least in the minors just to get his adjustment so he doesn't have the pressure.
Correct.
Because when you're trying to make adjustments, it's hard to make those adjustments during the season when it's all the pressure's on. You can go down to the minors and just work on the techniques that you're trying to help, learn. Don't worry about the results. But up at the big league, and you're dealing with results oriented.
Yep. Here, real quick, let me get these 2. Mark sent out 2 real quick here. He says, "Los, woo, agree, sell. This is year 5 of Farhan's bullshit."
They won't. They won't.
then-
They have
won't
misguided.
sell.
They have
Nope.
misguided thoughts that they're going to make the playoffs. Would everybody in the chat be ecstatically happy if the Giants made the playoffs and got knocked out in the first round? Would
No.
you be happy? Would you be really happy with that? I wouldn't.
Nope.
Maybe you have low expectations, but I like championships. I don't want to just make the playoffs just to say, "Woo, we made the playoffs. Let's hang our wild card flag at Oracle Ballpark." F that. Why don't they copy what the Orioles did, what the Rays did, what the Astros did? They tore it down. They sucked
Dan,
for maybe a year or two, and they got all these young guys that grew together, and now they're really good. Not just barely getting by, like maybe we might get in the playoffs. Like, we're damn good. We're a legitimate contender for a title. That's what the Giants need to do, but they won't.
And then one more, Mark Hope, another $2. Pitching depth. Maury Povich says that's a lie. And there we go. We got some great food reviews from our illustrious skipper.
No, you're right. It's not like the 49ers championship or bust, but I'd still rather have them get rid of all the dead weight and the excess fat that they have on this team that we keep talking about every day. Get rid of them and let's go with some new guys and new stuff. You're tired of the journeyman and all the stuff and the barely 500 or above 500. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
They're not one player away from.
No, they're not.
This.
We thought they were.
If we get Whitfield, or if we get Kim, or if we get DeJong from the Cardinals, DeJong is hitting 230. What is he going to do in this lineup?
It's the same thing that the Giants are doing now.
It's the same thing we have already.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of 230 hitters. Why the F are we going to trade for another 230 hitter?
Exactly.
This is what I'm talking about. The Giants let's just change the pieces. Let's trade in our 89 Honda Accord for a 92 Toyota Tercel. They're both pieces of shit. They're both pieces of shit.
I like that.
I'm serious. That's the Giants. The Giants never want to get a Lexus. They would never want to get a Mercedes. No, they got to get run down, beat up old cars that maybe I can squeeze 20,000 more miles out of them. Screw that, man. Go ahead and continue to be mediocrity, guys. I don't.
I like it.
I don't. I want more.
Fantastic.
I expect more from that organization.
Yes.
I expect more. And as long as Farhan is there and thinking like that, we're not going to get there.
That's the problem. I think we talked about this, Dan. He wants to win the deal. It's not about making the best player for your team. It's just about winning the deal. That's what it seems like.
I figure Dan ranted and lost his voice yesterday, and that's why I had to do pictures. So I'm going to take his place and be yelling and screaming tonight.
There you go. There you go.
Mark Hope dropping another $2. The once mighty San Francisco Giants are now the Moneyball A's.
Well, look at who the architect is.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Take a look at this, the lineup again. Wade, Peterson hitting 240, Davis, VR. What did VR pinch hit? Okay, I guess they gave up.
Yeah, I think they gave up at that time.
Yeah, okay.
It was late in the game.
Yeah, give him his last at bat before he gets his plane ticket back to Sacramento. Conforto, Yaz, 230. I mean, he's going back down to where he was the last 2 years.
Exactly.
They were talking about Yaz, how good he was about 3 weeks ago. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yaz is really good. Like he's a good fielder, no doubt. I will never say the dude doesn't have a good glove. He's an excellent fielder, but he doesn't bring anything to the table consistently as a hitter.
Well, none of these guys really do.
None of these guys do.
I mean, Sable's probably been their best hitter, and he's a rookie, so I'll give him an excuse. He's hitting 253.
Even Matos is having, a better average than some of these guys.
I mean, look at Matos and Sable hitting better than Yastrzemski and Conforto, two vets of the league.
And Peterson. Peterson's batting 241.
Why is this thing – get out of the way there. Where is that? Why is that whatever.
What is up, Truck? Good to see you in the chat. San Francisco A's.
Hey, Eric Hernandez, there's nothing wrong with an old Honda if it runs, but when you're going on the line with the 2021 Lexus LS 460, there you go.
Well, guess who's pitching tomorrow?
Let me guess. Ryan Walker opens it up, right?
No, Scott Alexander's opening it up tomorrow.
Oh, they changing it up on us.
Yeah, because they
Woo!
used Walker for 3 innings.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yep.
And not.
So I told you he wouldn't be ready. You're
right.
You blew him out for 2 games.
What a stud.
So now you've got
another fucking bullpen game, man.
So you got Alexander, and then it gets worse. Actually, Alexander is fine. It's going to be DeSclafani. Who's left in the pen to throw? Nobody's got. Manaya's shot today. Junis doesn't have anything left, right?
Well, what's the point of throwing out a reliever for 1 inning when DeSclafani's going to come in and suck it up anyways? Whether he sucks it up in the first inning or the second inning. I don't understand why you waste a bullpen arm for 1 inning. What does it do?
Well, because you might need a key matchup late in the game with a lefty, and you won't have him.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's. Oh my God, man.
Do we really have 6? We have 65 in the chat. I'm going to rant more often.
Yeah.
They have done well with an opener. Somebody made that point.
Yeah, they have. But has it been? I mean, has that really been a difference? Having one guy pitch. If they pitch a couple of innings, maybe.
There is a little strategy to it. In that, here's the strategy behind it: is you stack your lineup with right-handers. It's pretty easy to beat because all you have to do.
Know who's coming in afterwards.
Well, you know who's going to come in, so you just don't. You just put your lineup. Put your righties at the top of the order, and then put their lefties in the middle of the order.
But here's the deal:
when he comes out,
other organizations have a unique way of the way they put their lineup out. They put the same guys out there every time, no matter who's pitching.
Yeah, that's called believing in your lineup.
Yeah, exactly.
And consistency. Guys know what to expect when they come to the park. They know they're going to be in the lineup. I think this organization would have platooned Bonds. My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
I could see that.
I mean,
Mark Hope, another $2. Holy crap, man.
Flores goes 7 for 15 with 4 home runs, and total bases, he had 20 total bases for the series, something like that, crazy. And he rides the pine the first 2 games. He'll be in there tomorrow because they're facing a lefty.
A lefty, yep. WTF, the second lefty in the pen is starting. Exactly. Now you have one lefty left in the pen.
Rogers.
That's it.
Hey, Mark Hope, be prepared. I think Robert Rothberg is going to adopt your last name. Robert Hope. It's coming.
I don't get it.
No,
I don't get it.
We'll just keep going along, and like I said, they'll beat Washington tomorrow, maybe possibly, and then it'll be back to, oh my God, yeah, they're really good, they're cool, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable. I gotta take
it's a misleading record, guys. It's a misleading record.
Hey, real quick, who's Detroit throwing against the Giants?
Let me look here.
I hope it's Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
And I hope he goes 9 innings and shut up, Eduardo. Hey, something interesting I found out about Eduardo Rodriguez and the Tigers. You know who their GM is?
Yeah, Scott Harris.
Scott Harris, yeah.
A little connection with the Giants.
It's Ross Stripling versus Tariq Skubal, a lefty. So they're going to throw a lefty, which gives the Giants fits.
Yep.
You better get up Ramos and, shoot, man. I'd teach Ramos second base and down at AAA, man.
I know.
Jeez, get him playing. I mean, geez.
Yep. Mark Hope, hey, you made that point there, Mark. I appreciate it, but you made the point of throwing out your lefty out there. But yeah, thanks, appreciate it. Another $2.
Yeah, they've been burning out their whole bullpen. Hey, here's something. We've never talked about the Giants moving one of the Rogers brothers for value. Would you move one of them if somebody came calling for a really good prospect?
They have to go together.
They'd have to go together?
It's part of their contract. They're now.
Oh shit! I did not know that.
Yeah, they're
he's pulling that leg.
they're Siamese twins.
Oh man,
You mean conjoined?
Conjoined, whatever. Siamese is cats, right?
I did fall for that.
Yeah, you hook, line, and sinker on that one.
They have to go together. Their mother said she has to make peanut butter and jelly only once sandwiches.
I take it all back what I said about you, man.
Yeah,
Val, appreciate that, buddy.
She makes they were in a firefighter's family, and they get their firefighter lunch pails.
Yeah,
and they everything they do together. No,
let's say the Giants lose 7 out of their next 10 and they're closer to 500, and somebody offers us a really, really good prospect for one of the Rogers brothers.
They'll say no. Watch.
No, what would you do?
I would sell. Why not?
Most people in the chat won't. They won't. That's what's sad.
Well,
most people would say no. Let's keep.
You've also got to look at.
I'm talking about a really a guy that's possibly a better prospect than a Luciano, and he could be.
Oh, you're not going to get a Luciano. You're not going to get that. I don't think for them. Not
for the lefty Rogers. I mean, that's a pretty
prospect.
Dominant reliever right now. He could make the difference in a contender.
True, he could. I mean, he's signed for 2 years, but you also got to look at it this way. Both of them are signed for 2 more years. What are you going to do for next year? I mean, if you're looking to sell this year to make yourself, all in for 24 and hopefully 25, do you really want to get rid of those guys that can still be part of the team that are actually good?
I think they could find other relief pitchers. Relief pitchers
there's a lot of them out there.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, but they're the number one bullpen. They're the number one bullpen in the majors since May 1st.
It's being wasted right now on this team.
The Giants let's talk about Giants next year.
Well, let's look at it this way. Hold on. Let me. I'm going to play devil's advocate here with you guys, because as ticked off as I am watching this team, as you saw my signs wherever they went, they are boring right now, and they're not fun to watch when they they're starting to remind me of the 2019 club that got down in 2018. You just knew they weren't going to come back. But let me look at it this way. You got the best. What wins championships?
Pitching and defense.
Pitching, defense, and timely hitting.
Okay.
Timely.
What do the Giants have that's tops in baseball right now?
Bullpen.
Okay. If they added another top flight starter and had 3 solid starters going into a playoff series, and you have that bullpen, and then you add a bat or so, and let's say Haniger comes back and does something for you, and
that's a lot of what ifs.
Estrada comes back, and Crawford comes back. Now you have a team that is formidable. I'm not saying it's out of 12 teams that make the playoffs, it's probably lineup wise, it's probably near the bottom, 10, but it's tops in bullpen. And if you had let's say you got a Jordan Montgomery or a Justin Verlander, now all of a sudden you might be one of the top 3-4 rotations in the league.
It's a valid point.
It is
a third starter and a solid bullpen, and even an average lineup. Remember, I always say the 10, 12, and 14 lineups didn't scare anybody, but they won.
Correct. Well, how do they win? Starting pitching, defense, and the bullpen.
But Webb, Cobb, and any pitcher they bring in is not going to definitely be Lincecum, Bumgarner, and Kane.
True.
So that's one. Secondly, in my opinion, the way they've used their bullpen this year, I don't think their bullpen is going to be as good come September when it really counts. I think they're going to be burned out. I could be completely wrong, and if I am, I've been saying that.
I don't think they're that burnt out, though.
I think they are. They don't have one pitcher that goes.
You know why they're burnt out? Is because they throw out Manaea, they throw out Junis, they threw out Stripling earlier in the year, they threw out Jelly when he was coming up and Win. Most of their innings, if you look at their high leverage guys, their innings are not that high.
You know what?
I mean,
where are they? I want to see something where they
Danny, are their appearances high, but maybe the innings is low? They don't pitch a lot? Is that what you're saying?
They don't pitch a lot. The Rogers, I mean, they're not Rogers has probably got the highest of the staff. But they're not burnt out yet. Those guys, the plan, I believe, was to originally have all those long guys to eat up innings. See, their philosophy is, and I don't tend to totally disagree with it. They don't look at it as 5 starters. They look at it as innings, eating up a number of innings and spreading it out. So if you spread out all the innings, Duvall hasn't pitched since what? Tuesday?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He hasn't pitched in 4 days. He may not pitch again on this road trip if they don't get a lead.
I know.
The principle of what they wanted to do probably wasn't bad. But I think a lot of guys that they counted on are not pitching very well. The Junises, the Manayas,
Manayas, and
Woods,
yeah, all those guys.
And you know the guys that are actually pitching better. Guess what? It's the younger guys. It's Duvall. It's maybe Keaton Wynn. It's maybe Alexander. It's the younger, and that's why I told you a little while ago, Dan.
Well, yeah, Alexander's like a 10-year vet though, or something. He's like 32.
If they lose the lefty Rogers, it's Taylor, right? Taylor's the lefty Rogers.
Taylor's the lefty. Yeah.
If they lose him, I say there's always bullpen guys. I mean, look at some of the guys on the Giants right now. They're kind of like no names. They came out of nowhere that are making a bit of a difference. I always think you can get decent bullpen, from another team or from the system or something like that.
Speaking of bullpen, let me get to this what do you call it? Chat. Gonzo, I'm not even, whatever. Would I trade Duvall for another team's top 5 prospect? I'm assuming you're saying prospect. Are you crazy?
That's one guy. That's one guy.
He's like, if he was in your system, he'd be like, Duvall would probably be like one of the top 5 in all of baseball right now if he was a prospect. Yep. This is the number 1 closer probably in all of baseball. Top 2 for sure. He's 25. There's no way I'm building my bullpen around this guy.
Well, to go back to what you were saying, Dan, and you make some really good points, having Estrada come back and Haniger, but we don't know what they're going to play like when they come back. Hopefully, they're going to be decent, but this lineup right now,
that's the statement of the century.
Yeah.
Because we don't know who anybody's going to play. You could get Ohtani and you don't know what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is all based on, you base these things on the guy's history. And when Haniger's available and he's playing, he's a pretty decent ball player. In 21, he hit 39 homers, drove in 100 runs.
Was 21 the year of the juice ball?
That was the year the Giants hit all kinds of home runs. I know that. I don't know if it was, probably was.
Remember,
juice.
One of those years was the juice ball. I can't remember what year it was.
What do we got here on my phone here? Elliot Ramos hits a solo home run in the bottom of the 9th. Sacramento.
Nice. Hey, real quick.
Walk-off homer. Walk-off homer.
It's a walk-off. Nice.
Walk-off homer in the bottom of the 9th. See that right there?
Nice.
He'll stay down there because they got to keep Slater and they got to keep their players up. So what good?
Call up Ramos. Come on. He's 23.
They won't.
Just get the guy and play him like you played Matos.
Well, here's the problem.
Hey, let me respond to Mario. Mario, trust me, man, I'm not emotional about a 4-game losing streak. I've been saying since for 2 months, I've been saying the Giants are an average team, even if they're 10 games over 500. If they went 10 games below 500, I'd go the opposite way. Say, they're not that bad.
You know what gets me?
Team.
You know what gets me amped up? Go for it, Los.
I said during the All-Star break they would go 35. I was the only guy I think on here that said they would go 35 and 37 after the All-Star break.
But what
They
I
would
was
go
thinking,
under
I think the reason why there's a lot of emotion, it's the way that they're losing. They're not. It looks bad. It doesn't look like they're not competing. It's like it's just. Ugh.
If you really hear what I'm saying, I'm not upset that they're like losing to Washington. I said Cincinnati was a good team. Well, losing to Washington is unthinkable. It's not that. It's just the whole way the organization is run. They got some young guys. They got Ramos and Luciano down there.
Ramos
love to see him up here,
interviewed right
they
now.
won't call him up.
There it is. Here it is.
They
guys.
never sell, even when they're not very good. That pisses me off. So it's an accumulation of a lot of things about how the organization is run and how they value what I consider and most people consider average ball players. They have a lot of average talent on the team. So when I hear people say, "Oh, they have all this talent and this and that," no, they don't. They don't. They're playing a little bit above their heads right now.
You want me to go on a real quick rage as I watch this?
Please.
You got a 23-year-old number one draft pick, former number one draft pick, who many people said was a 4 to 5 tool player, has speed, some power, good arm, can play all over in the outfield. And he's sitting down there wasting away. And you got guys like David VR. You got guys like Wisely. I know they're infielders and he's an outfielder, but you're really going to put him, just leave him out there? I mean, down there? Get him up. Get him up here.
Yeah, why
Come
not?
on.
Hasn't he, quote unquote, earned the promotion more so than
they've
Luciano?
never given him a fair shot.
No, they haven't.
Never given him a fair shot.
Why do you think that is in your opinion?
Well, I guarantee you if Farhan drafted him, he'd be up. I guarantee that.
Bingo. You just said it. The politics of baseball. This is not my guy. He can help the team, which is what you want, right? You're working for the San Francisco Giants. That's your title, presidents of operations. If you win, you look better. Oh, but it's not my guy. Screw that, man. I hate the politics of fucking baseball. I don't care if it's not your guy. Bring him up.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah.
Is Villar his guy? Did he draft Villar?
No.
Nope. That was.
Just then why is he up?
Yeah, because they don't have any infielders.
Baseman? Oh, yeah.
They don't have any infielders. It's just they got I would just bring Ramos up, put him in the lineup. He's it's ridiculous. It's too late to fly him to Washington for a day game tomorrow. He wouldn't get in till 4 a.m. So too late for that. But
shit, I want to see Meckler up. I want to see this.
They've got a lefty the next 2 games, tomorrow and Monday in Detroit. Why wouldn't you just get Ramos up? And I don't.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be there tomorrow.
Mitchell and Ness on point, man. On point. That's what I'm saying. Fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 5 times. I'm not going to fall for it again. But too many Giants fans do.
I like Hiroku. He wants to go nuclear. I'd go all out and trade for Ohtani and Trout and say bye-bye to everyone not in the majors. The nuclear option.
You'd have 2 guys in the lineup and 7 guys not.
Yeah.
Who are they going to drive in, man? They're going to have a lot of solo home runs.
Well, they could drive in Wade. He does take some walks. That's about it.
Man.
All of a sudden,
so love them to clean house. God.
And what do you think about this talk of getting Verlander? Come on, man.
Why? For what?
The guy's like, 45 years old or something? I mean.
40. Hey, speaking of Scherzer, he's 39. He got rocked tonight. 4 home runs he gave up, lost to the Red Sox.
A lot of
people that's good.
A lot of good pitchers got rocked today.
Yeah.
The kid from Tampa got rocked. Hey, but you know who pitched well is my boy James Paxton, Boston.
Oh, Boston, huh?
But I don't want him. I don't want him. I don't want Eduardo Rodriguez. I retract everything I said about who I want. I don't want anybody. I want to sell. I'm on record. You can record
Mario
it. I want to
saying,
sell.
get a star. You can always get prospects. There's
Well,
some validity to that.
They've drafted a lot. They had a good draft, supposedly, by all the people. So those
Build
are
on that.
3-4 years away. Just keep building.
Yep.
Build it the right way. Look at Baltimore and Houston. When's the last time Houston was not in the playoffs?
Exactly. Yeah.
They're a threat every year.
Every
Where
year.
was Houston? You want to see what Houston looked like in 2012?
Oh, it was
Thank
bad.
you. Show that.
Let me pull that.
Oh, look
up.
at that. That ERA is similar to.
That's the kind of team I want. And the only way they're going to do that is sell.
Mark has a good point.
Like the old man in 48 hours, or not 48 hours, Trading Places said at the end at the Wall Street, get in there and sell, you idiot.
All right, here we go. Take a look at this. I'll show you guys this 2000. We'll start in 2011. 2011. Oh, Houston was in the National League Central. Look at that. 56 and 106 in 2011.
Woo!
Now, if I go to 2012, let me change that to 2012. Pull that up. Here we go. You guys still see that?
Yep.
2012, they moved to the American League. No,
they
they're
went
still in
one
the
game
National.
worse. 107.
107, 2012. Look at that. Now let's look at 2013. Pull that up. 2013. I think they moved to the American League, didn't they? Oh, wait a minute. What the heck's that? 2013? What happened in 2013? Was it a shortened season?
No.
What the heck's going on here?
That's right now. I think that's right now.
No, it's 2013 standings. What the heck? There we go. I don't know what the heck that was. Okay. So there's Houston, 111. 3 years in a row, 100-loss team, right?
Yep.
Now,
and progressively got worse.
if we go, 11, 12, 13, but they were getting Correa and Altuve and Springer, and they were drafting, and all these guys, started coming up. Now in 14, 70 and 92. See
Getting
that?
better.
Now 15, I believe they made the playoffs. I think it was 15. Wasn't it 15 where they started making the playoffs?
Yep, I think so.
Was it 15?
I want to say 16, but
might have been 16.
Yeah.
But they definitely started getting better. Here's the standings in 15. 86 and 76. I think they might have just, let's see.
But you see the gradual improvement.
Yeah,
These
and
young guys are all growing together.
Yep. Now, why won't the Giants just take that method and follow that? Baltimore's doing it, and we're seeing it work again.
Mm-hmm.
And you're close. You're getting close. You're starting to see guys, and you can mix it with some vets, that like Farhan's done with 1-2 year contracts with guys. And then if those guys are blocked and they're doing really good, you could trade those guys.
I'm an analogy guy. So let me give you an analogy outside of sports. Let's just say that you're a salesman of a company, and you're not the worst salesman and you're not the best salesman. You're kind of in the middle. Every year you're kind of in the middle. You're average. In order to be the top salesman, you gotta go back to some kind of school and go back to training and educate yourself more and learn more. And in those 6 months that you're away, your income goes down a little bit. But when you come back, you're more knowledgeable and you're better and you become a top salesman. Point I'm trying to make, sometimes you got to take a step or two back for a year or two. And that's what too many Giants fans are unwilling to do. Because they have 3 championships right now, they think it's their entitlement to be in position to win a championship. They're not in a position to win a championship right now. I know you could say all you want that they get in, anything can happen. Whatever, man. If they want to win a championship, the thing to do would be to rebuild it back up again. Like Dan said, use the model of of Houston. You just saw it, of Baltimore, of Tampa. Tampa has probably one of the lowest payrolls in the league, and they're a great team. Now, I know what I'm going to get. Have they won a championship? But all you can ask for is they are a legitimate threat to win a championship every year.
Yeah, the Dodgers
haven't
won a championship, so you can't say have they won a championship because they're a threat every year.
Every year.
And that's what I want the Giants to be, a legitimate threat. And they're not going to be a threat doing it this way. They're treading water. They're an average salesman at best. If you want to be really good, get rid of some of these guys. Even though we're putting some of these guys down and saying they're average to above average, they do have value on a championship team. Jock Peterson would bring something back. Atlanta would love to have him. Why? Because for some reason in the regular season, he's average, but them lights go on and that dude balls out. So, yeah, I know what I'm going to get a feedback. Well, if we make the postseason, he'll ball out for us. Valid point. But I'm just saying, if the Giants really want to go somewhere, just sell. They won't do it though. Farhan won't do it, and that's why they just need a new GM in there.
Well, here we go. This leads us right into this next super chat here. Glass half full with another $5. Appreciate it. It's been 5 years with Kapler and Farhan. What have they accomplished outside of winning the division once? Might be time for a regime change, in my honest opinion.
Carlo P., let me respond to you. It doesn't contradict what I'm saying. I do want championships, but they're not going to win championships with what they're doing right now. If they want to win a championship, I'm willing to wait a few years to get some more young guys in here, build on this draft that we had right now. Like Dan said earlier, I think they did have a pretty solid draft. Let some of our young guys that are learning down, like Wisenhunt and Harrison and Luciano and Ramos, come up. They're being blocked. They're being blocked by average players. How the hell are they going to come up? If you're Ramos, you just hit a walk-off homer tonight. If you rake for the next week or two and you're still not called up, what do you think his mind is thinking? It's like, what the fuck do I got to do to get up to that team?
Yeah.
Their outfield is crap. I'm raking and you're still not calling me up. Get me the fuck out of here and let me go to an organization that'll fucking actually let me, do what I got to do at the major league level. You don't think he's thinking that? He is. That's why I'm so pissed about how the Giants do it. They roadblock young talent. They roadblock them. Give him a chance. I know they gave him a chance.
He also
and he didn't do anything.
player of the week a week or two ago.
Yeah.
He's like been raking up since he's got, so I don't know. Something's coming up with Ramos. He's either going to get traded or they're going to
call him up
because just to let him rot down there, like Lowe says, is ridiculous when you've got inferior talent ahead of him.
Yes.
I mean, come on. What's your future? Is it Yaz or is it Ramos?
Right. That's what I've been saying the whole long. Mark Hope with $5 regarding Verlander, another example of San Francisco being pawns and bargaining chip for major players. Farhan has brought no top free agents to San Francisco. Bryant doesn't count.
Here's another quick funny analogy, and Dan can relate to this because he's an investment guy. He's a guy that knows how to sell and know how to save money for the future, not now. So what the Giants doing right now is they're getting their paychecks from work and they're spending, and they have some things, but they got no money in the bank. I want them to put away and start saving and letting money accumulate and grow interest. That's what you got to do. The Giants always think for the now. They never think for the future, and that's why they never sell. And as long as they keep thinking that way.
Imagine if you went to the Yankees and you said, we'll give you Alex Cobb and
Conforto.
We'll give you Conforto, Cobb, Conforto, and maybe a mid-level guy like Bednar. I know he's injured, but heck, what else? What else you want? You want?
Didn't Kruger bring up a couple guys from the Yankees, Dan?
Yeah,
that
there was a
we
couple
both
guys,
like?
but how about Jason? How about Dominguez, the number one guy? Their
There's no
outfielder?
way Yankees will do that. You think?
They want to get in the play. They don't want to miss.
They're
the
going to
playoffs.
save him for Otani. If they're going to be in the race for Otani.
Well, if they try and trade for him,
Yeah.
but if they don't get Otani, they're gonna be desperate to make the playoffs. So
I would really like the Giants to go after, if they're going to go, not, and I'm not saying this for this year because that would be hypocritical. For the future, I'd really like to get that center fielder from the White Sox. He's 25. Yeah, he's power and speed.
Luis.
He could be part of the future. And they probably wouldn't have to give up as much and get some prospects. Remember, he's only 25. So I'm not trying to get 28, 30, 35-year-old players. I want a young team that can grow together. So, yeah, if we get Dominguez with the right
good point.
Together.
Yeah, Brian Cashman wouldn't do that because Sabian's there. He's like, I ain't going to trade nobody to the Giants. Screw you.
Hey. Luigi, that's a great point. Yeah.
Hey, the Giants ranked 29th in OPS for the month of July.
You see?
And they entered the night with a 208 average.
That's garbage.
208. After hitting 46 homers in March and April, the Powers tailed off. The Giants have just 16 in the month of July.
That's who's writing this?
This is, I believe it's Pavlovich. Let me see.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is just, yeah.
I bet Luigi Stromboli.
Didn't we say weeks ago that the number one farm system right now is the Orioles?
Yes. And
so
number two, who was it? Oh,
the Dodgers and Orioles.
Yeah.
So the Orioles, for the first time in a long time, are in a position to win a World Series.
See what selling does? Look what the kid has done the last couple nights. CJ Abrams, couple of homers.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he's been playing like a
and they got James Woods in that deal with the Padres for Soto. So the Nationals got a couple of really good players. Abrams is an athlete. He's fast. He's
what I want.
And Woods, and then you also still have Robert Hassel. You also got the pitcher. I think isn't he pitching tomorrow? The kid from San Diego that forgetting his name. Gosh, his name's on the top of my tongue right now. Mackenzie Gore. Thank you. There it is. Mackenzie Gore. Yeah. He was with the Padres. He was a top pitcher. Yeah. He'll probably shut I think the Giants hit him pretty good last year, maybe. So they might get to him. But anyway, imagine what you could get if you started selling and picking up some of these better prospects.
Unfortunately, we don't have a Soto to get that haul, but we can.
No, but if you can maybe get one for one, if you give up to somebody who really wants a starting pitcher or needs a, in your situation, like you said, Rogers, if you did happen to get somebody for the lefty, say, hey, we're going to give you one of our top 2 or 3 prospects because that's what we need. We think Rogers will make the difference between us, winning the World Series or not, to somebody like, to a Tampa, to an Atlanta, to a, team that needs that lefty that's the setup man. That's a huge, important position to get to the closer.
So let me ask you guys, and I'll ask that. Let's just say, for shits and giggles, the Giants do sell. We know it's probably not going to happen, but let's say they go all in and they're going to sell off the team. Who are your untouchable players? Like, they not going anywhere. I'm going to tell you, I got 4 guys. Webb, Doval, Bailey, and Matos are untouchable.
And Estrada. 5.
How old is Estrada? 29?
27.
Okay, I'll give you that. So anybody else I'm missing? Untouchable. Everybody else can go if they get us back something.
You'd be even willing to let Schmidt go too?
No, I'll let Schmidt.
Okay.
I want to keep the young guys, even if they're struggling. I'm not even sold on Alex Cobb that much. I mean, how many years has he been really an all-star? He's done it 1 year.
This 1 year, and
Yeah.
he's 35.
He's 35. Is he, again, like Danny keeps saying, we're going to all keep saying it, is he a part of the Giants' future? No, he's not. He's
I
not.
would.
Yeah, Schmidt's another one. You're right. So that would be six guys. There's probably somebody else I'm missing that's on the active. I'm not talking about the minor leagues. I'm just talking about on the major leagues.
So are you talking about like trading for other prospects? Is that what you're trying to say? As far as the untouchables, are you talking about not trading them or
not trading them? Yeah. If we're selling and some team calls and says we want Webb, no. We want Matos, Bailey, Schmidt, no. But Conforto, Slater, Yaz, JD Davis, Brandon Crawford, if you need a defensive replacement, I don't care. Alex Cobb,
I might
any
listen,
of those guys.
I might listen
Roger
on,
Brothers.
I might listen on Matos. If you gave me if the piece coming back was a number 1 or 2 starter and was like ready to go right away, and that was a guy that would be really good, because I'm thinking to myself, I still got Von Brown, Wade Meckler,
exactly,
Ramos, Grant McCray. I got all these other guys coming up behind him that are, there's only 3. Typically
outfield spots.
There really should only be 4 outfield spots that you play on a regular basis.
And out of all those young guys, you figure 1 or 2 of them are going to be pretty good. You figure just from the averages, they're going to be pretty good. Bora, good point. Me and Danny been on Blake Sable from spring training.
I was going to mention Sable for you too. I mentioned that. Yeah,
I like Sable. I want to.
Did somebody bring up Sable?
Yeah, because he does what most of the Giants can't do. Is he's actually a decent hitter.
He's a decent hitter, and he's fast, and he's athletic.
He's athletic, yeah.
And he can catch he's their backup catcher. So, and he's actually improved as the season's gone on.
I would be willing to come off of Bart too.
Would you?
I would.
Oh man, how about Conforto? He's gonna walk, right? Pretty much.
I would definitely move him.
Yeah, I would try to move him.
He's gonna opt
in. There's
one
guy.
He's gonna opt in, and we're gonna owe him what, $18 million next year.
I don't think Scott Boras is gonna allow him to opt in. He's gonna say, "Hey, dude, you could get way more on the open market."
Can he?
I think so.
Hitting 236.
Scott Boras, man, that dude can sell.
Scott Boras. God,
he gets it done. He gets it done.
I know he does. But man, I swear these GMs are pathetic. That would be one thing I would love to talk to Ned about next time he's on, is like when you're sitting down with an agent and the player, and it's going back and forth for a contract, and Boros is saying, well, Conforto hit 228. But he had 25 bombs and he had about 68 RBIs on those 25 homers. We want a 3-year, $75 million contract. If you're the GM, why in the world would you go, yeah, that sounds right? Are you going to say because that's the market? Is that what we're doing? Like guys that hit 228 are getting $25 million a year?
Crazy. I don't even know how.
That's what I'm saying. Why are GMs like so passive and not saying pass, go to another team? I don't want a guy that has 68 RBIs with 25 homers. And you play an average outfield, and you have a history of being hurt. Screw you, go on. But no, they don't. They keep signing them. They keep giving them the money. It baffles me. I would love to hear Ned's reaction to that, because I know there's probably been more than a few players he regretted signing. It's just the nature of the business.
Well, he's spoken to dealing with Scott Boras in the past, and he says he's dealt with him pretty good. So it all depends, I guess, on who's the GM and who's making these type of calls.
Mark, hope that's an interesting point. Maybe Conforto, if he does leave and go to another team, will play well because he won't be a subject to the analytics. But
that is interesting. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Talking about how
that's an interesting point. It could happen, but that's why we get back some value for him. He's not part of our future. That's what I'm saying.
And honestly, do you really think Farhan signed him to be part of the future, or did he just sign him for this just 1 year? That was the whole. But why else would you opt out? Give a player opt out after 1 year?
He signs
That's all it is.
a bunch of
You
1 and
guys-
2 year
What
deals.
makes you think
So-
Farhan does anything of significance when there's 18 to 20 teams looking to buy?
Right.
That his mindset is like Eric said, win the deal, really negotiate, try and win. And all those guys like him do, and this, Los, from being in the mortgage business and realtors and being in sales, when you kind of are you're very cautious, trepidatious. You're just hemming and hawing and trying to get the best deal and squeeze the person. All you do is push that person who's selling away.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You end up, you sold a home. I'm not dealing with this guy, man. He's wasting my freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving on to a sure deal. Even if I got to take a little, I can't handle this guy. He's up, he's down. He can't make up his mind. He's not decisive. Boom. I'm taking the other deal. And
Spot on.
happens all the time in sales.
God, I say that to a lot of my borrowers right now.
Yeah. So
been trying to buy a house for months, but not quite serious. So, yep, that's spot on. That's
how many
reality.
people look at a house and they go, "Oh, I want this," but it has I don't know if I like the carpet in there. Well, you can change the carpet. Well, it's going to cost a couple $1,000
Right.
to do that. I'm not sure if I want to do that. And then somebody else, too late. Somebody else just made a cash offer. It's gone. Goodbye. Forget it.
I tell you, I love dealing with one individual borrower rather than married couples, because if I can tell you how many times houses have been lost because the husband liked it and the wife didn't, or vice versa, and then they ended up never getting anything. Oh, I love it when it's one person I got to deal with. They usually buy faster than married couples. But no, that's spot on, man. What you said, that's how it is. And
it happens constantly.
Yeah.
And this is why, like, a lot of Farhan's deals are so, like, we just got Jalen Davis from the Minnesota Twins, and he's been cut by the fourth team by the Mets just the other day.
Yeah.
We just got Tristan Beck for Mark Melanson, and we got so and so, and we got Prelander Baroa, but I'm going to swing him in another deal for Donovan Walton, because I really, little pieces like this that are under the radar. And if you remember all the deals he made in 2019, and he picked up Dubon, and he picked up all these guys at the last day.
Yeah.
They weren't, and he decided to get rid of them all at the last day. He kept Will Smith and Mad Bum, but he traded, bunch of different guys, and then he traded Sam Dyson to Minnesota, and then Dyson ended up his arm blowing out. But do you remember any significant deals? I mean, he got Dubon, but then he traded him. Was there any significant deals?
They're all dollar store deals.
Yeah,
he shops at the dollar store.
The only deal he ever made that was big was Chris Bryant, and then JD Davis was an under radar move last year.
Solid,
but it was a solid move. But everything else has been all these little deadline deals. That's what I'm saying. He lets all the cream that rises to top, gets all plucked away, gets siphoned off,
and we get the curds.
You're left with all the little stuff.
And here's another underlying reason why I want to go all in on selling is we talk about this a lot. The Giants do not have a history. Forget Farhan. They do not have a history of signing big name superstar free agents.
Right.
Bonds and Zito. That's about it in a lot of years. So if they can't sign a big time free agent, why not trade for as many prospects as you can get?
Exactly.
You figure one or two of them are going to hit.
and raise
Because
them
you
up.
can't get
You
free
can't do
agents.
both. You can't do both. Right.
Raise them
You
up.
can't. You can't get Bryce Harper. You can't get, Judge. You cannot get Ohtani probably. You can't.
You're not going to get Ohtani. No.
It's nice to think about it, but the
Yeah.
reality and the track record says the Giants will
Ain't
not get
doing
these.
it.
Their
free
best
agents.
shot at Ohtani is, I hate to say it, but is to trade for him.
Is to trade for him, right?
And I don't really want to do that unless he's signed.
Exactly.
Because
And I don't think he'll do that, to be honest with you.
The only way Giants are going to get talent is through the draft and for trading for it. They're not going to get a superstar player for a free agent.
And I tell you what, hey, Dan, if it comes out after the trade deadline that the Giants gave a strong offer to get him and he still didn't come, that tells me he's not going to sign in the offseason either. That means he just does there, because the Giants would probably want to say, okay.
It's not his choice if he comes on.
Oh, good point. Good point. Yeah, never mind. Disregard.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Do any of us have any faith that Farhan can pull off a deal that's going to significantly improve this roster during the deadline?
No.
Does what? Do you have any
think
faith?
Farhan? Yeah. Do you have faith in Farhan that he can actually pull together some type of trade to improve?
He'll do something.
But do you think it's going to be a marginal type of thing, or is it where it really doesn't matter?
I'm okay if. Here's what I want him to do. As I said earlier, add a number 2, 3 stars. A Stroman, a Montgomery, the kid from Detroit, even the kid from St. Louis, the other kid, the righty,
Hicks.
No, the starter.
Nicholas?
Flaherty
Jack Flaherty, yeah.
Flaherty, yeah.
Somebody of that nature, somebody that can give you innings and give you a decent game, I
would say the Giants are at least 3 players, a starting pitcher.
Let me finish there.
Go for it.
So let me finish, because you need 1 starter at minimum. I prefer 2, because I don't like their starting pitching at all. But I guess Stripling would have to be in the mix at this point. Maybe Harrison comes in there and becomes a starter. So you need that. You're pretty set in the bullpen. You do need, right now, you need a middle of the infield guy that is a good defender, that is a reliable veteran, that can give you solid defense. You got to put him in there, and he's got a decent bat. Hard to find, but somebody that can hit 250-ish, that's got a little pop, and an outfielder with some power. But if you don't get the outfielder, you do have Haniger coming back, and I think you just have to go with that, because he's going to be back, and you have to hope and assume that he's okay. But you're pretty much stuck with that. But ideally, if you can get me 2 starters and a middle infielder that's a utility guy, I think you can compete in the playoffs. Because you have now, all of a sudden, if you have 3 really, really reliable starters, maybe a 4th, and you've got, you're going to have to go with your outfield the way it is. You're going to have to go with Conforto, Yaz, and Haniger and Matos, if Matos is on the roster. And you're going to have to hope that Haniger comes back and has some power, and Jock finds his power, and Conforto finds his power.
God, that's a seed there. There's so many.
But that's it. That's you can't.
That's all we got.
You can't go and say, okay. You could go out there and get. There's guys that are this year that I'm trying to remember who it was. He was the batting champ. Yeah, Jeff McNeil.
Yeah,
batting champ last year. He's 80 points below his average last year. So you cannot just say, crap, he sucks. Well, he won the batting title last year. Some guys are up and down, but you have to go with and hope. And I'll tell you what, if you get hot at the right time, the best team does not usually win the World Series. The best regular season team does not usually win the World Series. It's the team that is gelling and gets hot. Look at the Phillies last year. They got in. Who'd they play in the World Series again?
Astros.
Okay, Astros,
were the best team, weren't they? In the American
The Dodgers were the best team in the net, and they got knocked out in the first round. San Diego got going. The Giants, every one of their 3 world championships, they were not anywhere near the team to beat going into the playoffs. So you've got to be healthy, and you've got to have if you have Mitch Haniger, Yaz, and Conforto as your starting lineup, and you got Slater behind him and Sable, hopefully maybe Matos, and your infield consists of Davis, Crawford, Estrada, and Wade, and Flores is the backup, and you got Bailey behind the plate, and let's say you've got Webb and Cobb and Jordan Montgomery or Marcus Stroman or just somebody along that lines. You're going to go into the playoffs with it to be reckoned with. I don't care what you think about what those guys are doing right now, because if all those guys come around and are playing, they'll feed off each other. They're going to get better. Are they going to be all of a sudden 300 hitters? No. Yaz is hitting 230. We looked at earlier tonight. Yaz is all of a sudden going to become, a 260, 270 type hitter if he's surrounded with those guys, and because guys are going to start getting better pitches to hit. So I'm not saying that's the recipe for them going to make. Well, I guess I am. That is the recipe for them but if they don't get the pitching and they're not healthy, they may not even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
From the standpoint of getting new talent in here, you're absolutely 100% right. Something has to change. But the only thing I'll slightly push back on is the Giants' way to get new talent is always just trade for this piece and trade for that piece and trade for this piece. Look at Cincinnati a few months ago. They were in last place and they were crap. What did they do? Everybody talks about De La Cruz. That shortstop kid, McClain.
Yeah, he's good.
Breaks. He's over 300. He steals bases, and he's a gold glove shortstop. Nobody talks about him. That kid, Abbott, is now their ace pitcher. What are they? Young guys. I'm not even talking about Christian Encarnacion Strand, who is a monster power hitter. So there are some teams that just actually go to their farm system and bring up talented players, and they make a difference. The Giants don't. Their philosophy is, we got to trade for this guy. We got to trade for that guy.
I will, in defense of them, that has been their mode the last several years.
A lot.
But this year, they are leading the league in RBIs by rookies, or probably not after the last couple games because they haven't scored. Cincinnati's number 1, and the Giants are like neck and neck. So the fact is, this year the Giants are actually playing a lot of rookies. Your catchers are both rookies. Your middle infield right now is rookies. Your outfield consists of Matos. Your pitching this year has had rookies and Beck and
it's interesting how you say that too. But a lot of these rookies are called up because of injury. Perez went down, Bailey came up.
Yeah.
Haniger went down, Matos came up. So they had to go to their depth to fill these positions rather than saying, hey, we're bringing these guys up because, they've been raking. Schmidt's probably the only guy they actually brought up because he was doing well in
hopefully
AAA.
The Giants' young guys can turn it around. But unfortunately, our rookies, the arrow's going down because they're struggling. Cincinnati's rookies, the arrow's going up. They continue to rake. Bailey's not hitting anymore. Schmidt's not hitting anymore. Matos is still hanging in there. He's doing all right. They all give you a great glove, so they bring that.
That's a good point about Bailey. I mean, when's the last time he even had a hit?
Bailey, he's on my fantasy team, so I know. Trust me, when I know stats and guys on my team, Bailey has not been hitting for the last 3 weeks. So he could turn it around. I still think he's a decent hitter. Me and Danny have gone back and forth on that. He thinks he's like a 240, 250 hitter. I think he's probably closer to 260, but we'll see. He can't hit from the right side. Reminds me of Pablo in the early years when Pablo couldn't hit from the right side.
Yeah, Bailey's not. Yeah, he's going to be. That's why I think, if you can retain Bart, that's a good situation to have Bart, because you do face mostly righties. It's 75% right-handed pitchers. Just look at how often they face a lefty on this trip. It's been like what, 1 in Cincinnati, 2 in Cincinnati. I don't even know. Can't remember.
I don't think there was any lefties in Pittsburgh, right?
I don't recall.
Oh yeah, Rich Hill.
Okay, but for the most part, it's close to 70-30. Okay, so Bailey's going to catch 70% of the time. That's perfect. That's what you want to catch your starting catcher, 70%. Your backup should be like 30%. He gets 2 starts a week. Brand new book put out recently by the catcher of the Giants, Eric Kratz. I tried to get him on the show last week, but he was not available to promote his book about the backup catcher and how important the backup catcher role is, and that plays a very important role, and that he's going to play like 1 or 2 days a week, and it's just a very important role. I think Bart would be excellent in that role, and then you can put him at DH sometimes, or you can put him at first base if, for whatever reason.
Let's say Monday the Giants bring up Luciano and Ramos. Who's going down?
Oh, that's easy. VR and either Wisely or Schmidt. I would send Wisely down just because Schmidt's so valuable with his glove.
Right.
And, but then again, I might send Schmidt down just for a few weeks just to get his
work on some stuff.
Work on some stuff like we did with Bart, and But did I say you said Ramos and
Luciano?
Okay. Yeah, they might want to send an outfielder down, but what outfielder are they going to send down?
Yeah, they need them all. They
don't really. So,
what if Ramos comes up and he just starts hitting the shit out of the ball, and one of those outfielders is
but he's not, because he's going to be platooned.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say we know what they'll do. I
didn't even see the highlights, but I bet you the game-winning homer he hit tonight, I bet it was off a right-hander.
I'll look. We know what he would do. Even he could come up and hit 4 home runs the first week, and he would be platooned if he hit him off of a lefty, because we just saw that with Flores. He just hit 4 home runs in Cincinnati, and he got benched. Let me say it again. He got benched. Wilmer Flores hit 4 home runs. The last one was off a right-hander. He got benched.
Ramos would go to Flores and say this in Spanish: "¿Qué está haciendo este cabrón?" Which basically means, "What's this idiot manager thinking?"
Bruce Bochy, I put this in Twitter, and some clown out there, hey, clown dude, if you're listening, what's your name, clown? What was that guy's name?
Which one?
Hold on, I'm going to find him in my Twitter world here. Too many people responding today. Wow. Come on. Oh, here it is. Boss Summers, 28. Bo knows. Boss Summers, 28. Hey, clown, I'm calling to you. He said that I didn't know anything because I said Bochy, if it was managing, he would have had Flores in the lineup. He says, "Stop living in the past." I said, "You missed the point, dude. The point is, great managers play the hot hand. They don't sit there and just look at their charts all day. They do the eye test. And if a guy's hot, he stays in the lineup. Period. You know, this right-handed, left-handed stuff is so overblown. If you want to live by that, why don't you just not even play anybody like Conforto when you're facing a lefty? Mm-hmm. Why do you play Conforto? He's not hitting.
Right.
He's not hitting lefties. Why don't you put Ramos in there?
Eric, can you highlight the LDO's comment?
Yeah, let me go ahead and let's get the glass half full, another $4.99.
Appreciate it.
He says he likes Jim Duquette, former GM, would be good guest on the show there, Dan. Jim Duquette, former GM.
Oh, yeah.
You said LDO?
LDO.
Okay, real quick, Ramos hit that jack off a lefty.
I'm wrong. Damn.
I just was happening to look.
Thank you. LDO, I've not seen you in the chat. That's a good point. I like it. Kapler does kill momentum. As soon as, and it doesn't matter if it's a young guy or a vet. Guys get going.
He did that to Belt last year. Remember, he had 3 hits and yanks him.
That's a great point. As soon as guy, and that's the whole thing. What we talk about is baseball is about repetitions. It's about seeing the ball as a hitter. It's about getting into a good groove and getting good habits. And when you got it going good, and then your manager says you're not in today, and you got to sit for 1 or 2 games, you might go right back into those bad habits. So how the hell are you supposed to get any kind of continuity if you're always being sat because of this stupid damn platoon system that they just will not get off of? So great point, man.
I tell you what, Mark, I would not be surprised if sometime down the future, and I could see Farhan doing this, is hiring AI as the manager. I could see it. Why have a manager? Just have a guy there with a freaking computer and he's your manager.
Wow.
I could see it. I could see it.
I like it. It'll save the ownership, the manager's salary.
Why not? You know, you got AI. He'll make the decisions for you. He'd probably be better than Kapler. He probably would be better than Kapler.
Wilmer says here you've hit 4 home runs in the last 4 games.
You will go back
we're facing a right-handed pitcher. My system says you're on the bench. But Skip, I'm red hot. I'm seeing the ball really well right now. It looks like a softball coming in. I do not care. I am the manager. I report to Farhan Zaidi.
I would be. You know what? I'm telling you. I think AI would probably say this guy's a hot hitter. Let's put him out there. It's a Farhan that would mess it all up. He's got
Farhan has programmed the computer.
Exactly.
Just for shits and giggles, Kapler should be in the dugout like the Lost in Space robot when somebody goes 0 for 4. Warning.
Will Robinson.
He's got those things. We will sit Flores.
Warning, Will Robinson. Warning.
Oh man!
What was that show? What was that one?
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space. Yeah,
Lost
with
in
Penny
Space.
and Will. Penny and Will and Dr. Smith.
And
Dr. Smith.
Dr. Smith. God, the most common name. How can I forget that? I was reaching for some Dr. Smith. Yeah, he was a shit disturber for sure. They don't make shows like that anymore.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Damn.
Oh, man.
We're at an hour 45.
I had to sit down. I got my back standing. Ooh.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot tonight.
Yeah,
we sure did.
I may be
82
missing
people in the chat. Eric?
What's that?
82 people in the chat.
I've seen 76 myself. I think it dropped. As soon as we went into Lost in Space, we lost.
Oh, sorry.
We lost all the 25-year-olds that didn't have no clue what Lost in Space.
Oh my gosh!
Like my little robot.
What is this? This is why I can't stand listening to Bowden. MF says he said today he sees the Giants giving up Harrison for Verlander. Come on.
Oh yeah. That'd be a San Francisco Giants move right there.
It would.
Go ahead. Yeah. Whatever.
The only way you would do anything like that if you thought Harrison was just not going to be who you thought he was going to be.
Right.
But if you think he's like, a future perennial type all-star pitcher, that would be ridiculous.
Here, I'm gonna.
There
All
we
right,
go.
cool.
Yeah.
You just took. Okay, I'll put him back on. All I did is mute it.
Oh, you did? Okay, put him back.
Yeah, we're good. We're good though. When I see him come on, I'll bring him in.
Yeah, I'll talk. Just mute the mic when. Yeah. So, anyway, did we have Chardal? Yeah, somebody just said, "Where's Chardal?"
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen him. I think he was here in the very beginning and then he vanished. He might be looking around somewhere. Yeah, I don't like listening. I don't like listening to Jim Bowden at all. He's
a pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting here. We're on the 22nd. I thought there'd be a trade this weekend.
This is crazy. I know we're getting like what, 8 days away, something like that.
Yeah, I thought somebody would jump. I just think the team needs a jolt right now. I mean, if they lose the next two and go home on this road trip after opening up 5-0 and go 5-6, that would be a really crappy road trip. Now, if they could turn it around and win tomorrow and then go to Detroit and win, now you can say, hey, that's overall a good road trip, 7-4. I said on this road trip, anything less than 6-5 is a failure. Because this is not, super teams they're facing.
No, not at all.
But
we said this the other night. They play shitty against bad teams and good against good teams.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
They need to play the Dodgers and the Braves to start winning again.
Yeah. Problem is by the time they face the Dodgers are going to be loaded. And don't you know that the Dodgers are going to make some big moves? Wouldn't surprise me a bit if the Dodgers got the three guys from the Cardinals that I was looking at: Montgomery, the shortstop, DeJong, and Jordan Hicks, the reliever. They need their pin's terrible, the Dodgers. So watch the Dodgers pull something off like that.
Yep.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit. I'm just trying to see if there's any movement with any trades. Hey, have you seen that new underrated film that's out now with Steph Curry?
It's on Apple TV.
Apple Plus.
Apple Plus. Like, I don't think I get that. I have almost everything else, but that one.
I might go watch that right now. Let me see. Let me see if there's anybody trade rumors. Nothing happening that I see. The Orioles, Jackson Holiday, he's their number one overall prospect. He's scorching hot in Double-A, tearing up that league. So you got some good stuff there.
I would take a top 5 prospect. What would you prefer? What would you prefer, Dan? A top 5 hitting prospect or a top 5 pitching prospect? If you can get something back, a stud everyday player or a stud pitcher?
A player. They've got pitching. Giants got pitching coming.
Me too. Yeah.
Giants.
I want a big bat in that lineup.
Yeah, I don't know if the Giants are ever going to, don't tell me that people can't hit in this ballpark, because I saw Jeff Kent, Ellis Burks from the right side, Rich Aurelia. I saw these guys pop, home runs. And we all know what Bonds did, and JT Snow was effective. So the Giants had a lot of guys back in the Sabian Coletti era that could hit. This team can't hit.
Yeah.
This is really hard.
They did a good job identifying actual hitters.
This team, I don't know what it is, but they do not hardly ever just slap the ball into right field or
going with the pitch.
Going with the pitch. They just constantly
Not what they're
ground
taught.
out. They constantly ground out weakly. A lot of weak grounders.
Who is technically the hitting coach of the Giants? Do they have two guys?
Veal, something like that. They used to have two guys.
Justin Lind
I thought it was Justin Veal.
Justin Veal, and what's the guy that went to Texas again?
Oh God, what was his name?
MF knows. MF, what's the guy that went to Texas?
Ecker. Donnie
Ecker.
Ecker.
That's right. So their hitting coaches are Dustin Lynn and Justin Veal.
I would love to ask them in spring training what the hitting philosophy is taught. I would love an answer.
I've got a
well. We look in a zone for a certain pitch.
I'll see it.
And
I'll see if I can get.
Pitch, we just
wait, you know what this reminds me of? You just triggered a memory here. Remember when the Giants were doing bad? This is when Bochy was towards the end of Bochy. You'd always hear people, we got to fire Bam Bam Mutilins, the hitting coach. Fire the hitting coach. He's the team's not hitting. But you don't hear it from the fans now. Now you don't hear fire the hitting coach because the Giants are hitting.
Great point.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
They're not being held accountable at all.
I've got my best friend growing up as a kid through high school. His son played at St. Mary's and then drafted by the White Sox, played with Luis Gonzalez and Luis Robert and all these, some of the studs that the White Sox have now. And he's a hitting instructor with Baltimore in their minor leagues. And I would love to see if I can. I don't know. I don't know if he's able to, if you have to go through the Orioles organization, if he's allowed to, once you get with an organization, you have to go through their PR department to get things, but I'll check and see because it would be great to get a perspective on, what they're teaching guys.
Right. Yeah.
At Baltimore in their system. And, so we'll see.
Real quick, Bay Area. You know what? I'll add to that. When you say most fans don't know who the hitting coach is, that's true. It's definitely not the same as it was during Bochy's time when everyone knew who everyone was. Pitching coach. Tell me if anybody even knows the damn general manager of the San Francisco Giants, let alone the hitting coach.
I didn't for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Have to keep asking you guys. Pete Patchouli, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't ever hear from him.
Nope.
Talk about a silent partner.
When's the next open mic? Bora, you want to come in? Are you up for it, Bora?
Where are we at so far?
2 hours. Blue. We're at 2 hours almost.
We can go 10 minutes and then I'm done.
That's what I was thinking.
Throw it in there. 10 minutes. Bora wants to come in.
Oh, Bora wants to come in. All right, hold up. Here we go. And there you go, Bora. Come on in.
Isn't there a movie called Bora Bora or something?
Tora.
No, I thought there was a Bora Bora too. Tora was Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
It's a great vacation destination.
So Bora.
Trock's in there. Hey, what's up, Trock? Man, you came in strong yesterday.
I was gonna say,
awesome. Oh, here we go.
All right. I was gonna say I was gonna guess what Bora looked like, and I was correct in that he had darker hair. I was gonna say he has darker hair, but I had no idea. So here he is. Bring him on in with some music. Bring it.
Oh,
bring
you
him
want
in.
music? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, we gotta treat first timers right, man.
There we go.
We treat our guests right. Welcome, Bora.
What's up, Bora? Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You bet.
Woo. Yeah.
Not so bad.
So what's
All
up
right.
tonight, Bora? What's
Whoop.
on your
We
mind?
got the fade it.
Take the show home.
All right. I mean, I just have a few things. One, I just noticed. I noticed this first on the Reds game. When Sable's catching, he's framing pitches that are like a foot outside of the strike zone. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, he's come a long way, but I mean, these.
I mean, so he's
trying to
taking a ball that's like way over here and pulling
Exactly,
it in.
yeah.
It's an obvious ball that
Yanking it over.
Like frame
it's
close
so obvious.
pitches, but now you're reaching, buddy.
Exactly, yeah. I just think, I mean, they have no situational hitting whatsoever.
Yep.
And what was
Good.
that, the first inning? First and second, nobody out.
Nobody out, yeah.
JD Davis just strikes out, then Conforto grounds into a double play. I mean,
Right.
where's the
Over.
situational hitting?
Good point, Bora. I like that. Yeah, I thought that first inning, I was like, oh, they're going to be able to, capitalize quick. And it,
Well,
just
here's
like you
the
said,
thing that was kind of
situational.
irritated me is he threw like 8 straight balls to start the game.
Yeah, he couldn't
And-
find the strike zone for the life of him.
And then Conforto goes up and hits the first pitch.
Exactly, yep.
First pitch. It's like the guy
Common sense.
make him
Work.
throw you a strike first. And gosh, he's obviously struggling. And the Giants did that after the first inning too. They just went up and started just swinging away.
I mean, everything now on Kepler is like, oh, we got the platoons, right? But there's no thought process for those actual good hitters who know, like professional hitters who know how to hit, like righties and lefties. It's just like, oh, let's just throw the best matchup out there and see what you can do.
Absolutely.
So, Bora, I'm gonna put you on the spot, even as a new timer, all right?
All right.
So, are you like most of the fans and most everybody that thinks that they should trade and buy and try to make a run at this, or are you with me in the minority and thinking that this is not a championship, close to a championship team, and let's sell and let's build something for the next few years?
Nah, this isn't even close to a championship team. I mean, you got.
Bring this guy on again, man.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. You got Yastrzemski. He's injury prone and old. You got Peterson. He's old. You got Flores. He's injury prone and old. You got Conforto just coming off a major injury. You got DeSclafani injury prone and old. Minaya, who sucks. Let's see who else. I mean, Cobb is good, but he's injured all the time.
Right.
35 years old.
Yeah, I mean, the bullpen, it's a mix, but I mean, Jackson just came back from an injury. Alexander's been injured. I mean, it's just, you don't have the correct pieces in place to contend. I mean, you got to have a mix of young guys and old guys, which they do have. It's just, they just don't have the healthy and the skilled players to do that.
Good point.
Right.
They do have veterans, but they're injury prone, and you wind up getting platooned. And
you know why they're injury prone? Because they're
old.
They're platooned, and then Kepler wants to play them for like a week straight, and then they get injured.
Here's the problem. That's the issue. You platoon them, and then even when they're being platooned, they get hurt, and now you're forced to get another platoon player to play every day, and they're not used to it, and they get hurt.
Exactly. It's just a cycle.
It is.
Yeah, really.
Fantastic. So I got Bora, I got Mark Holt, and I think I got Ted Crosby on the cell roster. Welcome to being a minority, guys.
Yep.
Enjoy it.
I got
You're against most everybody.
Yep. I got another question for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Top five what?
top five running backs in the league, Dan.
Dan.
No.
Or are you signed up for the fantasy football league in here?
Yeah, I requested.
He's in here. He's in here. He's on the list.
Excellent.
All right.
He could be in my division.
All right.
Hey, Bora,
got another question.
don't fall for it. Los just wants your money, man. That's all he wants.
All right. We'll see about that.
Bora knows what he's talking about, man. He's going to be
does.
competition.
Yeah, that'll be good. I agree.
All right.
His question.
Give me one or two players that you want to see signed in the offseason.
Ooh.
Gosh, there's not very many.
All right.
You mean on the Giants team or on another team?
No, that the Giants sign.
All right. Let me give you a couple of guys here. Go you first, Eric. Or you ready? Or
Go ahead, Eric.
Are you talking about even just trading or just free agents?
Free agents.
all right,
Ooh,
here we
my
go.
Gosh, I would probably go for Blake Snell. He's a good lefty. They need starting pitching.
All right, I'm going to go for. I need an infielders, and I need pitching. So I'm just looking here at the list.
Yeah, I got to look at that.
I'd go after Jordan Montgomery. He's only 30 and a half. I would go after let's see. Too many pitchers. Wow. It's not a great year for free agents, I can tell you that.
No, it's not. It's bad. And once Machado got signed that extension, that was like he was going to be the big guy. And Ohtani's not happening.
Okay, here's a name. He's old, but he plays well and he doesn't get hurt very much. Is Whit Merrifield. He's a guy that could do something for you. And let's see, as I go down the list here, I love the guy in the bullpen. He's only 27. He'll be 27. Is Jordan Hicks. And let's see what else we got here.
I don't know about Matt Chapman. He's kind of old, ain't he?
I got a name.
What do you got?
What you got?
I'm trying to look for a decent list. Give it to us.
Reese Hoskins.
Oh, is he a free agent?
I forgot about that. Yeah,
He was born in Sacramento. So he's a native Californian.
Yeah, there he
Went to
is.
Sac
Reese
State.
Hoskins. There he is.
Yep. Good.
I like that.
Good pick. I like
that. Yeah, Reese Hoskins.
He's a first baseman with power for a change.
Yep.
That's
30
what
years
you
old.
need. I mean, Lamont Wade's good, but I mean, you can put him in DH or something.
Yeah, because at the first base position, you want someone with some power.
exactly.
And right now, Wade, yeah, he gets on base, but the power quite isn't there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that.
I
Good.
might even go after because he's only 27. I might even go after Julio Urias just to make.
I was just looking that he's a free agent.
Yeah, he's going
And
to
if
be
the
a free agent.
Dodgers aren't, if the Dodgers get him back, just drive up the price. Then
You guys, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily want to sign a starting pitcher next year because I think our rotation could be Webb, Harrison, Wisenhunt, Black, and Cobb.
could be.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Because I
could.
think
That's
Cobb
possible.
is around the All-Star game. Cobb was getting interviewed a lot, and he was talking very highly about this organization and the Giants. And I think he would be a good mentor to the three young guys.
I think
Yeah.
Webb could be.
Yeah, and you also got Keaton Wynn. That's a possibility of if he can get better command of that
Splitter.
get that splitter to not hang.
I want to see him develop a third pitch too.
Yeah.
Fastball.
You have to
splitter,
have three. You have
You
to
have
have
to
three.
have three. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's the same thing with Mason Black. He's got a wipeout slider and an awesome fastball, but he's got to get a third pitch.
I mean, and
Wynn would be good if
pretty
he had a
easy to
changeup.
do that. I think you just got to consistently throw it and develop it. I mean, that's why they're in the minors for a reason.
Right, exactly. He should be definitely getting that third pitch, whether it's a slider or a changeup. Seems like the changeup is very effective when a guy throws 96, 97.
Yep. Yep.
Trust the youth, man. Trust the
Hey,
youth.
there's
There's
Chardon.
Chardon.
Hey,
What do you guys think about Jorge Soler? What about that?
He's 30. He's 31, right?
Yeah, he's a little bit.
I love
older,
Soler's bat. He's got
but his
power.
defense, that's the only thing.
I mean, you
DH,
can sign him as a DH. Yeah.
DH, man.
Yeah.
Just like the Dodgers got
Yeah, what's Martinez?
JD Martinez.
Yeah.
Dang. I wanted the
But
Giants to get JD Martinez.
but you got to remember who's running this organization.
Yeah, he'd come here platoon.
Exactly.
Like Kapler wouldn't play her against right-handers.
He
How
wouldn't
crazy
play-
is that?
Exactly.
We'd sign him for like 3 years, $60 million, only to not play him against right-handers. When Look at his stats. He's raking right-handers.
Who's the only guy that's really not platooned in the Giants? Is it Conforto?
JD Davis.
Pretty much.
Estrada when he was
and
healthy.
JD Davis.
JD
You
Davis.
remember when they said they wanted 4 to 5
Everyday players.
everyday players? I think they were counting on those were going to be Conforto, Haniger, Estrada, and they didn't have JD Davis originally in the lineup.
Well, Yastrzemski maybe originally, because I mean, back in 2019 and
was batting
2020,
against
he was
lefties.
really good against lefties.
Yeah, so they were, but JD Davis kind of worked himself. He wasn't even the starting third baseman
It was
opening
VR.
day.
It was
It
VR.
was VR.
Yeah, it was VR. Yep.
Yeah. So,
So
you know,
I love the Rhys Hoskins selection. That's the
Yeah,
good
I like that one. That one's
did he-
solid.
Did he tear his ACL? Was that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah, ACL. Yeah.
Shit.
He was
Yeah.
running backwards, getting a pop up and pop. Yeah.
yeah. So they'll
If you're, I was going to say, if you're Hoskins and you come to the negotiating table, if I'm Hoskins' agent, I'm looking Farhan straight in the eye. If you're thinking about platooning my player, don't even waste your breath. We're not coming
Exactly.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not coming
exactly.
here. And you know what? That might be happening why the Giants, under this regime at least, can't get hitters to come here.
Mhm.
Unless you're freaking Aaron Judge and you're an absolute stud superstar, Mookie Betts or somebody, you're going to platoon here. You think guys want to come here and do that and hurt their legacy?
not the best players.
The word is out on the Giants, man.
I mean,
Don't
I mean,
go there
do we
to
know who his
judge
agent
your
is?
staff.
Is it Boris?
Oh, good question. Look it up. Who is
I could look it up.
Hoskins' agent?
Let me see if it has it right here.
I mean, look at the Dodgers get Mookie Betts and Freeman as free agents. I mean, those are
Oh,
guys
Boris.
that
It's Boris.
every day.
It
and
is
they're-
Boris. Oh,
they're
dear
consistent
God.
every year.
Forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did sign Boris. Conforto was Boris, and so was
It was Rodon, but those were opt-outs.
and so was
Rice-
Correa. Correa
Reese.
was Boros.
Reese isn't, yeah, but he went for the big contract with Correa. Reese is going to go for the big contract. He isn't going to go for an opt-out.
I wouldn't. I mean, I would. What's the max contract you would give Hoskins?
Hoskins, he's going to be 31. I'd probably look at it something like
Coming off of an ACL, remember, Dan.
I'd go 3 years, 70 million, something like that.
I bet you he gets more somewhere else. I'll bet you.
He's probably going to demand like
At least
5
20
years.
million a year.
You might have to go 4 years and 88 million, something like that, to get him. 22 million a year, roughly.
That may do it.
I mean, he's a 30-plus homer guy, wasn't he? Last year?
Exactly. Yeah, he's gotten a lot. He gets a lot of jacks.
I mean, he's not just that. He hits. I mean, he has a good OPS. He doesn't necessarily hit for average, but he has a good on base percentage. It's not like he's batting 220 with a 270 on base percentage. And
No, he actually hits over 250 with power.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I think he gets on base. I think he's got a good eye, right? What's his on base?
Average is 350. So
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's 20 plus million a year. I mean, you consider Haniger got 18.
Exactly.
And he's hurt all the time.
that was such an overpay. I mean,
Yeah, I know. That was just dumb.
that was the
I'll never forget. And Larry said,
made
"That's
my
it.
face.
That's
Yeah.
our free
Signing,
agent.
Yeah, that's our free agent. It's going to be Mitch Haniger.
It's
Yep.
Mitch Haniger."
It's Mitch Haniger. And don't tell me he's not. It's a replace. It's not in place. Of course, it's in place of Judge.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, didn't they
What
sign
a
him like
joke.
the next day?
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the next
I mean,
day.
it was like it was before.
Oh
Judge
no, it was the
even.
night before.
It was the
Oh,
night
okay,
before.
yeah.
They knew that Judge wasn't coming. They
Mhm.
had him.
Yep.
Boom. They were like, okay, Mitch, let's get the deal done. You know,
Mhm.
I'll give you an opt out. What else you want?
Yeah. Yeah, my
Jeez.
free agent crush though is Cody Bellinger. Like I just
Mm,
bounce back year.
yeah, he had another bomb today.
Mm-hmm.
Big
And
I saw.
I
I that
searched
homer.
up his stats against lefties. Guess what he's batting against lefties this year?
He's batting 300, isn't he?
He's batting 350 with a
What?
1,050 OPS.
Hey, I told everybody last year
Wow.
during the winter meetings, I said, get Cody Bellinger. He wants a 1-year deal. The guy's super motivated. Anytime you got an athlete whose earnings potential is on the line, they are going to come through. Plus, he was 2 years removed from his shoulder injury. He hurt it in the 2020
the celebration
playoffs, in the celebration. So he messed up his swing, compensating because his shoulder was messed up.
Yep.
So he was going to get it right. He believed in himself. And the Giants, I was down watching Gabe Kapler get interviewed on the MLB set. And I'm just standing there watching it, and I can hear him talking about Cody Bellinger and how they really like Bellinger and really, really high on Bellinger. And then it's like within an hour he signs with the Cubs.
Yep.
And I'm like, you idiots. I told you guys it's 1 freaking year. Pay $5 more million to get him. It's 1 year. He wanted a 1-year deal. You're not stuck. You can trade him at the deadline if you're in a situation you can get something back. Give him they had, again, it goes back to Farhan trying to get the best deal.
Yes, exactly.
Him and Hod, and he missed out. And so he ends up with a couple of guys coming off injury.
That's what's wrong with today's pro athlete, though. I'm going to rev it up because it's my contract year.
Deebo Samuel.
Give me the big money, and oh, shit, I'm going to get worse.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work out as hard. I'm not going to be as good because I have 4 years guaranteed. Jordan Poole.
But I think
I could give you a long list of those guys. So
I mean, I think that I don't know if that's accurate for Cody Bellinger because he took the 1-year deal. I mean, he might have only had that on the table, but
he took the 1-year deal to reinvent himself.
It's true,
He's having a really good year. Now let's see how he does. Whoever he signs with for the next 3 or 4 years.
That's true.
Does he go back to being the Cody Bellinger of the Dodgers that was hitting about 210 and 205?
I don't think so because I think he's healthy.
He's healthy now. That's the issue. Exactly.
I hope so. I've always liked him, but he did an Anthony Rendon. He just regressed.
That's because of an injury, though. Yeah. And like Dan said, you made a really good point. Is when you mess up a shoulder or something and you get your swing all out of adjustment, it takes a couple of years for you to find it again.
How old is Bellinger? About
28, I think.
He's young.
Oh, he's still in his prime.
Yeah.
The one thing with Cody Bellinger is that he'll always provide you great defense. Always.
Yep, always.
Percent chances on Giants signing Bellinger in free agency?
Would you trade Matos for him?
Yeah, if you guaranteed to sign Bellinger for another 4 years, I would trade Matos for him.
Yeah, because he'd be your center fielder.
Exactly.
I think I would too.
What's his strikeout percentage right now? They're saying he strikes out too much. I don't know about now. He did before, but I don't know. A lot of people are saying, hell no, no.
Wait, what about this? Would you guys trade Marco Luciano for 5 years of Bellinger and 5 years of Stroman?
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, because you're going to get 2 to 3 really good years from Stroman. The back end, you might not be that great, but 5 years of Bellinger in his prime, the guy didn't he hit like almost 50 home runs in 19, 48, 45, something like that.
Well, Stroman's 36. I didn't know he was that old.
Is Stroman 36?
That's what Luigi's saying.
No,
he's not. He's like 31.
Oh, he's 32.
Oh, okay. Never
mind. He's 32.
Come on, Luigi.
Hey,
Step it up. Step it up.
Well, what is he doing to us, Luigi?
Stromboli.
Yep. They should have got Bellinger this year, and they blew it.
Yeah, they should have.
I mean, they blew the whole offseason.
No.
They were riding they hedged their bets on Judge.
I tell you what, though, it would have been awesome if they had Judge and Bellinger. That would have been.
It would, yeah. I mean, when Judge didn't happen, they switched gears to Correa 14 years just to save face.
but then they blew that.
I mean,
What a
I'm glad they
mess.
blew that though. I'm glad they
Yeah,
canceled
you
that.
don't,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't want no guy that's going to be 40 something at the end of his contract. I mean, I don't know what the heck San Diego's doing with Bogarts and
11 years for Bogarts. 10
what did
Machado.
Machado re-signed again? Or,
Yeah, I think he's gonna be there until he's like 43 or something.
what did he sign for? I thought he opted out of his renegotiated because he was getting $30 million a year for 5 more years.
Yeah, he opted out, but then they extended him.
They extended him. Wow. So they gave him what? Another
11 year, 350.
Hey MF, from what I heard, Brandon Nimmo wanted to come to San Francisco if they had signed Judge.
That
That's
would
what
have
I
been
heard.
perfect.
I don't know if that's any validity to it, but that's what I heard.
Well,
I mean, that's the thing. Big stars attract other stars, and you don't
It does.
you don't get the stars. No one wants to come play for you.
Yeah.
right. That's why I say you always try and get at least one star. I mean, they definitely need, the only chance they have of recruiting Bellinger is maybe if they trade for him and Jock's around and Jock and him, from the Dodger days and Farhan being with the Dodgers when Bellinger was drafted, maybe you can get Boros to have him sign. But otherwise,
I don't think Jock will be here next year.
it's hard to say. It depends on how they do this year. If he's gone for sure, if they don't make the playoffs, but
I'd be surprised.
only way I'm taking Jock back is if you have something behind him like a Bellinger.
I'm not taking Jock back. No, whatever. No way.
I would take him only back if you got like maybe a 2-year deal for 18 million, 16 million, something, 8 million, 9 million a year. That's about it.
The one thing that Jock does well, this year at least, is he brings up the team morale. He seems like a nice, fun guy.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, he swings out of his shoes and right foot's going towards second base half the time.
Yeah, he does. I've never seen a guy. He looks like he's jumping almost when he swings. Like he's just literally trying to just. Yeah. I've never seen anybody swing like that.
Mark Hope, Jock is good at being fat. Wow.
Oh man. Well, awesome. Hey, Bart, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for joining. That was awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
Really,
hey,
really good stuff.
Are we going to start talking 49ers soon?
Pretty soon.
Next Thursday night, we'll have Jordan Elliott on from he's with what, Niners Nation?
Niner Nation.
Niner Nation.
Yeah, we'll slowly start ramping up as camp starts coming in. Definitely.
We'll definitely be
a lot of things to talk about with them.
Hey,
and we got to get ready here probably in about a month or two. Or about a month, we're going to get ready for the Final Fantasy or the final football or fantasy football stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Boro, who's your QB for the Niners?
Trey Lance.
All right.
Yep. I'm gonna be going to training camp on Wednesday, first day.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, well, get some video. Put it up here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Bring it to the show. Yeah, we'll bring you on for Thursday night. Would be awesome.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's interesting because there's a lot of guys that are. I'm not anti Purdy at all. I just think personally, he's
coming off of injury. You want to be careful with that,
exactly.
right?
I'm pro everybody except Sam Darnold, but I mean, if Purdy didn't tear his UCL, I'd be like, Purdy should start. Yeah, but
here's the question: do you guys still like that he did the brace instead of the full TJ?
For him, no.
It doesn't matter because he's not a big arm kind of thrower, anyways, right?
No, I mean for him though, if I were in his situation, I would have taken the year. I would have gotten the full surgery, just to make sure my arm is 100% healthy.
Gotcha.
I don't know how that brace thing works. Who's had it done before?
This is experimental. I don't think not many people.
Jake Delhomme had the similar surgery. And
Nick Mullins too.
And he was back in 6 to 7 months throwing.
Oh, Nick Mullins had it too, the brace.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he was he pretty much the same? He didn't play much after he had it though, did he? I mean,
I mean, he's always been like a backup quarterback.
Yeah,
so
but
yeah.
I mean, did his arm strength? Did they say his arm strength was the same, or did it get better?
I didn't notice anybody saying anything about him.
Interesting.
I've heard that, when you get TJ, your arm does get stronger because you get those bigger tendons in your arm.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I mean, him being a football player,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't wear out as much as a pitcher. does.
Yeah, I just think that they don't use it for pitchers
No
anyway.
way,
I don't
yeah.
think, because it wouldn't last. But I just think that Lance gives you the most upside,
Makes
and
sense.
you don't know what you have because you've never really fully seen him 100% healthy.
He gives you the most upside, and reports are his short game is like looking way better.
That's
So
what he needs to upgrade.
If he can master that, if he can just do the Jimmy gimmies, then
I like that Jimmy
And,
gimmies.
and how about not running them between the tackles? That might be a good idea too.
Yeah.
You got to be able at some point to beat teams over the top.
And he's the only 49ers quarterback that can do that.
Yeah, he has a cannon. And the thing is, what I said last year, the guy has heard nothing but Purdy, and he's like, you don't think
he's got a chip on his shoulder?
A chip?
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
why not?
If that's me, because when I was competing against somebody, I don't care if they had more talent. I still thought I could play better.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And so, the thing is he saw Purdy run the offense to perfection with the checkdowns that Jimmy screwed up on because Jimmy was too busy, panicking in the pocket. He'd be dancing around, and then where Purdy was able to,
he had the vision.
Well, not only that, he had the vision, but he had the wherewithal to step out of the pocket, and he was quick enough in the pocket to create space and make the play. And he wasn't like trying to make this huge play, taking off running or throwing it down 25 yards down the field. He'd take one look to see if anybody was open, and he knew that McCaffrey or whoever the running back was right there.
And we haven't seen Lance with McCaffrey, so
exactly, or Debo or Kittle.
I mean, we really haven't seen.
Good point.
We haven't seen Lance with McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. I mean, we haven't seen him.
No, he got one game in Chicago, basically,
without Kittle, though.
Right, and rough conditions a lot of the game, and he had a broken finger. Now we learned that never healed.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's healed.
I want Trey to have Purdy's swag, though. Trey is a little bit too nice and too. I want him. Purdy has swag for a kid like. With
he does, but
talent, I want Trey to have that swag.
You know what it might be? Maybe it's just confidence because of years played. Purdy's got more years behind the center. But Trey's not.
Yeah, probably that too.
Trey was also appointed the job. He didn't really take it. I mean, Brock didn't necessarily take it too, but he had to prove that he was worthy. I mean, everyone was like, "Oh, the 49ers are out of it now." Once Garoppolo got injured, so he had to prove everybody wrong. I mean, Trey now has to prove everybody wrong. But I mean, before it was just like, "Okay, Trey, here's your job. Let's see what you can do."
Because of his high draft status, now he's got to earn it.
But now he's the underdog coming in. Now he's going to be fired up, and he's going to. I just think if you play Trey, and this is what I would do. And a lot of people think I'm crazy, especially the Purdyanites, that just think that. Yeah, like the Canaanites in the Bible and the Israelites, the Purdyites. Okay, so the Purdyites, these guys, the Kool-Aid drinker. No, I love Brock Purdy. Believe me, I love him as a quarterback. I love him as a person. I think he's great. I'm rooting for him. But here's what I would do, and I don't care if it creates a real controversy. You've got the perfect alibi to not start him this year in the first few games. You'll never get it again.
Exactly.
You want to, okay? So if you start Purdy and he takes off and does what he did last year, you get nothing for Lance. You don't even know what you got.
Exactly.
You have nothing. So I would play Lance at least the first 2 to 3 games. And if he's just tearing it up, now you've got Joe Montana and Steve Young deal, and now you can get something for, you can take your best deal.
Exactly.
And I think if you get Trey Lance playing like he's, if you get Trey Lance playing to the point where he's doing the check downs and then he's running off tackle and he's doing what Jalen Hurts did, and he's getting down, he's diving, he's not taking hits, and he's throwing the long ball to Danny Gray and hitting Ayuk, and he's hitting his passes. You imagine what Kyle Shanahan could do. This is why they drafted him.
If Trey Lance does that, the 49ers will win the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And now you've got a guy that can do all of those things. He's big, he's physical, he's tough. And you just have to forget that injury. That happened to Derek Carr too. It's a freak thing. It happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Carr came back. And plus, Lance is a lot younger. He'll heal better. I just think that you got to give Lance this opportunity, because let's say you play him 3 games, he goes 2-1 and he's average. Okay. At least you know a little bit what you got.
Exactly.
And now you can bring in Purdy fully healthy and he's totally recovered. But if Lance goes 3-0 and he's lighting up the scoreboard and he's putting, 80 yards rushing and he's throwing for 250 to 350, and he's throwing 2 to 3 touchdowns a game, and the offense is clicking and it's like, oh my goodness, this offense looks unstoppable. Now you got a young quarterback in Purdy who's making nothing as your backup.
Yep.
And you have the perfect situation. If Lance goes down, you got Purdy. It just makes more sense, because then you know what you got. And I think also I'm in agreement with Ryan Hensley on this. I think Trey Lance is your type of quarterback that is your top 10 type of quarterback that can beat a Mahomes or a Joe Burrow in a shootout. I don't think, go back and watch the Dallas game. Purdy was off his throws. He had several throws that were off, could have got picked. Offense didn't really click and move that well.
Guys were
so I think Lance.
I got a lot to say about the Niners.
Yeah, I think Lance. Lance
just
gives you another.
Yeah.
I think he just gives you an element. Now, I'm not saying Purdy is not going to be the guy. I just think give Lance a couple of games, 2-3 games, and see what he can do.
I'll say one more thing. Trey Lance is the type of quarterback that you win a Super Bowl with. I don't know if Brock Purdy's that type of dude. Because if you're in the Super Bowl, it's an offensive league. You're going to have to air it out. I don't know if Brock Purdy can do it. I mean, if Trey Lance does that, he's the type of quarterback who has the arm strength to air it out. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's all.
He gives you the quick strike ability for sure.
He does, and that's what they need.
Hey guys, real quick, we haven't said it yet, but please hit the like, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. This is the kind of content you guys get on a daily basis. Just
Mark Hope says, Dan, no, you can't give away games like last year. Remember, 49ers were on the road in NFC Championship game. Yeah, I'm saying if Trey Lance, Mark, they do. But I'm saying if Trey Lance looks great in camp, you'll know in camp if he's how he's looking, how he's playing in the preseason games. And if Purdy is coming in at 80-90%, give him a couple of extra weeks. What are you going to do with Trey Lance if you all of a sudden let him go and he becomes the next Patrick Mahomes of some other team, and you never even gave him a fair shot.
You
They already
become
passed on Mahomes. They would do that again.
you become the Buccaneers, what they did with Steve Young.
Yeah. Why would you just give up Trey Lance without seeing what he can do? You gave him his rookie year. He played against a couple games, Houston. He won that game at the end of the season.
And everybody wants to point that out. Oh, it was just Houston. It was a must-win game, and Houston had I don't know, against Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence that same year. They had completely shut those guys down. It was a must-win game, and Trey Lance delivered.
Right, and he was playing what we now know. He had a finger injury that he hit in the preseason off somebody's helmet. It never healed right. He had to change basically his throwing motion, the way he released the ball. He's healthy now, supposedly. Let's see. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying make him your starting quarterback and you never go back to Purdy. I'm saying let's see what he does. And this is your only opportunity. If you start Brock Purdy the first game, and let's say he's not quite 100%, but he's close, and you start him, and the Niners, go 6-2 or something the first 8 games with Purdy, 5-3. Okay, they're doing okay, but now he's your everyday quarterback. What are you going to do with Trey Lance? You're basically going to sell him for a 6th round draft pick? What are you going to get for him?
I mean, nothing really.
Not much. And what happens if he really is? And they know he has to play. He has to play. He hasn't played hardly in 3 years. He missed his last year of college. Then he's missed his first 2 years as a pro. So he's played 1 year in his last 4 years. He's played a couple of games, in the pros. So let's say he comes out and he kills it in camp. Let's see what he can do.
And if you start Brock Purdy week 1 and him being not 100% healthy, if he shits the bed, you can't go back to Trey. You can't.
If say that one more time.
If you start Brock Purdy week 1 with him not being 100% healthy and he shits the bed, I don't know if you can go back to Trey Lance.
Now you got a real controversy in the sense that, I just think it's your only chance. It's your only you got a built-in alibi, to start. You got a built-in alibi to start Lance right now because Purdy, they're saying he may or may not be ready. So you start Purdy, you're pretty much saying, you're done with Lance. And that's my take. And as far as the what do we got? If my aunt had balls shed by my uncle.
Trey versus Purdy is a huge.
That's a huge thing. Yep.
That's Thursday.
That's Thursday. Yeah,
this will go another 4 hours.
Yeah, and the part with the talking about, somebody mentioned something about the Cowboys. Go what? Okay, Haruku. I never said Jimmy wins that. I haven't seen anything. Okay, and he says I haven't seen anything to say, oh, he's got this. Well, you haven't seen anything because you haven't seen him given a real the offense they ran was just just run it up the middle. They didn't run a lot of the offense that they did with Purdy because number one, Lance may have not had the experience. We're finding out he was hurt. He probably didn't have the accuracy last year. So let's see what he does. Maybe he picked up a lot of the watching on the sidelines. I can tell you this. Growing up, I watched a lot of quarterbacks sit on the bench for 3 to 4 years that became great all-time quarterbacks. Ken Stabler with the Raiders sat behind Darryl LaMonica for years. Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 full years behind Brett Favre. 3 full years. You don't think he was learning? Just watching a great one play? Yeah. I think Trey learned a ton last year on the bench. A lot more he learned from Brock run the offense than he saw Jimmy run it. He saw the correct way to check down and run it and go through your progressions quickly. And if they're not there, dump it off. And that's huge. And Brock had that experience, from playing, like you said, Eric. He played 4 years at Iowa. And so, yeah. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong. I really don't. If you went with Trey, I'm talking about the first couple of games, just to give Brock a little more time, and then you get to evaluate Trey. You'll never get another chance to evaluate Trey unless Brock goes down.
Yep.
That's all I got to say on it for now.
All right, Bora, man, I appreciate you joining. You asked some great questions. You brought some great knowledge. Did really good. You're more than welcome to join anytime.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
You betcha. And we'll be looking forward to seeing some of that footage that you get.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Have a good night, Bora.
Right,
Wednesday, what you got? You're going to take it on your phone, or you got a
I'll take it on my phone. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Zoom in.
Yep.
Heck, you can email Dan if he emails you some of the video. We can put it up.
For sure. Yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Do you have my email, or how do we get my email? Just NorCalSportsNetwork@gmail.com.
There you go.
NorCal Sports Network. Yeah. At Gmail.
There you go.
There we go. Right. Awesome. Thanks, Bora.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Or beforehand. Come on in beforehand in the next day or two if you're back. All right.
That was great. Awesome.
All right, guys.
Good
We'll be back tomorrow. What time's the game tomorrow? Is it 10?
Early.
Let's see. What time is game time tomorrow? 10:35. Giants take on the Nationals tomorrow, Sunday, 10:35. An opener, Scott Alexander facing Mackenzie Gore, the young lefty for the Washington Nationals. We'll be here tomorrow sometime between 1:30. It'll be a Sunday afternoon show. Not going to be a long one, though. I'm not doing I don't feel like doing another long one tomorrow. Just afternoon, Sunday. 90 minutes. 90-minute max.
Yeah, we said, hey, let's bring in. We got 10 minutes.
Bring in Chardonnay for 5 minutes. Let's bring in.
But at least Bora was
for 10 minutes.
That was.
But Bora brought some knowledge.
He did.
He did. But
he brought some hot takes. So we still held. So
I know.
Overtime.
OT.
If you like overtime, hit that like button. Hit it. Hit it.
Yeah, you got overtime tonight. You got how much overtime did we give them? Back-to-back OTs. All right, man. We out of here?
We're out of here.
So Eric's going to hit the close?
Yep.
All right, everybody. The famous NorCal Sports Italian call.
Here we go.
Ah!